when he built 20 grand from his father's mobile card to buy presents for girls. Yeah, When he got caught, his only excuse was...
I like girls.
He likes girls. Tell the folk, friends, how I Like Girls becomes unwanted on 5 continents.
Oh, you mean like the story of how Superman became Superman?
Your ability to pull myth out of the door is truly impressive.
Wow. Thank you. I live in color, and it's what you by me. Yes, I'm live in colors, your TV. Also starring my parents, Frank and Paula Abagnale. My parents met in France, in a little village called Montreal after the war. My dad was a GI, my mother, young and beautiful.
All the people in that little French village were so happy to see Americans that they decided to put on a show for us. So they crammed 200 soldiers into a tiny social hall. First person to walk on stage is your mother, then she starts to dance. The men are literally holding their breath. I turned to my buddies and I said, I am not leaving France without that woman.
I always get into trouble when I dance with you.
When I was a kid, I could watch them dance all night.
Come on, Frank, I interviewed both your parents. Don't try to sell me on some
Also starring Playboy's Planning to the Years, Cheryl Ann, something.
I'm surprised you even remembered my first name. Listen, you know, this son of a...
Thank you, Cheryl Ann. Introducing the Strong family, featuring the beautiful, sweet, faithful, and true Brenda Strong. Hey, Brenda, listen. I've got this show to do, and you're going to be in it. In fact, you're one of the stars.
I wouldn't do this for anyone but you,
Brenda, you're going to be great. Now, will you wait for me over there, and I'll let you know when it's time?
Frank. I love you.
Yeah. I loved you, too.
All right, Frank, that's enough. I've heard all I can hear. I don't want to hear any more.
I don't believe you. I think you want the rest of the story.
I know the whole story. All right, wait a minute. Now, there's one question that still bugs me. How'd you pass the bar exam in New Orleans? How did you cheat the bar?
All right, so I'll make you deal. You let me finish, I'll tell you anything. We always do that much, don't you think? I'll get to tell my story, and you'll have a full confession.
Okay, deal, Frank. Or whatever you're calling yourself today. Wait, where am I going?
Someday, just like in your dress, everybody knows that it's the clothes that make you cry. Just keep a kiss. Sit and match me, try to catch me if you can. I just run the streets, but true. I got a story to make my dreams. Fly with me for a bird's eye view. Fly with me for a bird's eye view. I got the world at my command. I'll be your one-man Disneyland. Don't wanna wait for the cops to arrive. I wanna tell my story. The Ladies and gentlemen, our story begins on Christmas Eve, 1964. New Rochelle, New York. The Abagnale home. A beautiful house on the best street. The house everyone wanted and the family everyone wanted to be.
My living color, to me in and turning on. My living color, blink your eyes and I'll be gone.
It truly is a beautiful tree, Frank.
It's the genuine spirit of real Christmas right there. 100% acrylic.
But so that I understand,
Right.
you left this morning with a Cadillac and $200 and came back with a Christmas tree, a television set, and a used Ford.
Did I strike a bargain or what? I left those guys with their heads spinning.
I think I know the feeling.
Is that Abigail magic? Come on, dance.
When I do have dinner
is better in color.
How about that 13-inch screen?
It's like Andy Williams is right here in our living room.
Nothing's too good for my boy or my bride.
Dad, didn't those guys know you were getting away with something?
Frank, people only know what you tell them. So dance. You swap the caddy for the Ford, use the extra cash to pay the mortgage, use a mortgage delivered as a bank loan, use a loan to tie the business over till you get the caddy back. There's always another move to make.
They should see to dinner.
That's great, you got the loan, Dad.
I didn't get the loan.
I
I got something back. 50 checks. The account's in your name. I put $25 in it, so you can buy whatever you want. Don't tell your mother.
Thanks, Dad. But if they didn't give you the loan...
One day you're going to want something from these people. A house, a car. They have all the money. This means from this day on, you are in their little club.
But why didn't they give you the loan?
Just a technicality. They won't loan to anyone under IRS investigation.
Oh.
Listen, remember this story. The little mice fell in a bucket of cream. The first mouse quickly gave up and drowned. The second mouse would not quit. He struggled so hard that eventually he turned that cream into butter and he climbed out. And who are we?
We're the second mouse.
Stand straight, we are. Everything's going to be fine. Matter of fact, you know what? We're going downtown to get your Christmas present. A brand new Botany 500 suit.
Dad, that's too expensive.
Frank. You know why the Yankees win all the time? It's not the men. It's not Joe Peppercorn. It's the uniform. The other teams just stand there, staring at the pinstripes and mesmerized. Scared the Dodgers so bad they had to leave town. When your mother walked into that dance hall in Montchartre, what did she see? Through the case of champagne, did she notice my brain or my college degree? And what she saw was a uniform through the dirt and debris. Yes, those ladies gave thanks to us visiting Yanks, because the pinstripes are all they see.
Ladies and gentlemen, the smartest man I know. The man with all the moves. My dad, Frank Abagnale.
When a pilot walks onto the plane, all the passengers smile and relax. Do they know he's still tight from that party last night full of back-to-back jacks? What they see is the uniform, how it fits to the T. Like that visiting team that the Yankees will cream. Pinstripes are all that they see. If you want to be someone, you can't look like fun. I want to judge by his color. That's the first rule of thumb. I want to see you take off. Take to the top floor. Start dressing to impress them. Time you'll stroll in the front door. And give me the man's catch. Yeah!
Everybody loved my dad. Jack Barnes, the head of the Chamber of Commerce, called him the most popular businessman in New Hampshire.
You don't have to wear your school blazer. You're going to public school now.
I'm used to it. And me, what's the flash without a suit? Anyway, public school is only for now. Dad will be back on his feet. I'll be back at St. Francis before you know it.
I'm a brave little soldier. You aren't afraid of anything.
Fine, Mom. You do what you have to do.
Look at come to it. Oh.
Excuse me, is this room 17 French?
Who wants to know? The FBI? Yeah, he looks like a substitute teacher or something.
Shouldn't you boys be in class? Dépêchez-vous! Vite! Vite, 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 vite!
Mr. and Mrs. Abagnale, I regret to inform you that for the past week, Frank has been teaching Mrs. Glazer's office yesterday and was planning a class field trip to a French fry factory in Trenton.
Love to forgive him. There's been so much change. You see, we lost our house.
Principal Owings, on my way into the outer office, I found this necklace on the floor. Is it yours?
Please.
You must have dropped it. It looks like it was made for you.
Well, Mr. Abbott there.
Frankie, shoot the top.
French fry factory?
What's the first thing you do when your mother hands you a note? You fold it up and you put it in your pocket.
Thanks. I'm Betty.
Frank.
Nice jacket.
If they see his uniform, just ask one maitre d', or a tailor in Paris. Go ask Roger Maris. The stripes are all his. Mom, Dad, I just met this.
You remember your father's friend, Jacques Barnes?
Hello.
Frank, it's good to see you. Paula. Take care.
Are you hungry, Frankie? I could make you a sandwich. Frankie, you're not going to tell you.
No?
That's right. There's nothing to tell you. I'm going out for a few hours to visit some old friends from the tennis club, and when I get back, we'll all have dinner together, right? Do you need some money, Frankie? A few dollars to buy some comic books here. Take
200 soldiers in that tiny social hall.
I was 16 years old when I met your father. I was your age. How could I know what I wanted, Tito?
You wanted him.
I did. Once. And I wanted to get out of France. And I wanted to have a child. It was a long time ago, Frank. Believe me, one day you will look at yourself and you won't be who you were.
There's no phone booth. There's no cake. There's no Steve McQueen to help me make my great escape. How can I fly like a hero in the sky? Be a shooting star out in the stratosphere. Where's the shadow? Keep my eye. Where's that searchlight in the sky to point the way to go through some new cloud to disappear into the crowd? Though the future's
your father?
One day, the principal pulls me out of class and drives me to the courthouse. Doesn't tell me why. I walk in, and I see my parents up front with their lawyers, and a judge.
It can get very expensive, people fighting over their children.
Nobody's fighting. Frankie, look at me. Nobody's fighting.
So many voices tell me to choose.
The court can't decide these things, but it's better if the family does.
It's like a game where either team I lose.
Frankie, just give him a game. This will all be over. It's gonna be okay.
This noise just makes me want to shout.
My brave little soldier, do what you have to do.
I'd like to buy a one-way ticket out.
I'm sorry, Frank. I got no room to move here.
Rules of the roads, don't look back. I straight ahead, don't jump the track. Try a new game and pray that I can win. 'Cause I just don't feel at home in mine. So I salute now into someone else's skin. One for Grand Central, please.
Round trip is $5, one way is $3. You have 2.
Okay, so I didn't really know what I was doing. I just knew I had to get out. And I'm not proud of this, but my instincts took over. Misdirection, maintain eye contact, keep talking. And I take my money back from the ticket seller, and I make it disappear. And I spin some tale about being my grandmother in Idlewild while I ask for my change, even though he doesn't owe me any change.
Wait.
But I keep talking and waiting for my change, or in this case, my money back. And in his confusion, he thinks he owes me change and he gives me $2. So now I have $4, which is enough for my one-way ticket to Manhattan, because I don't plan on coming back. What? You took it? Thank you. And like I said, I'm not proud of it, but you do what you have to do. I had to find a way out. This is the way I found it. They wanted me to choose, and I chose the New Haven line, track 2, the 10:15 to New York City. Run down the street, run out of town, run from the whole team and never touch down. Run from the books, 'cause it's all in vain. I'm gonna run from the choices that I don't want to make. School's not out, but I can't wait. It's every time that I wait. I've gotta run away now. I've got to run away. Oh yeah. You'll see the truth when I move on. They'll need each other much more once I'm gone. I'm flush and he's back on his feet. I pick him up and ride down Easy Street. No time to cry for all the years. What's the gas tank full of tears? You know where now the places that I want here. And I just don't feel at home in my soul now. Into someone else's skin. Into someone else's skin. Into someone else's skin. Into someone else's skin. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a word from our sponsors. These great products can help you survive your first few weeks in New York with just 50 checks and a driver's license. Swiss Army penknives helps you alter the age on your driver's license. Because a 16-year-old cashing a check or opening an account by himself.
It's a lot of questions.
It does. Oh, Higgins brand genuine original India ink. Flows easily through your pen or brush. A few dabs on your license, you're 10 years older.
And no one can tell the difference.
Elmer's glue is perfect for the craftsperson of any age who needs to change their name. With a pair of scissors, you can cut and paste names from other documents, and you're officially Frank Taylor Jr. And if Frank Taylor wears out as well,
You could be Frank Adams or Frank Connors.
Or William Taylor.
I'll slip a dab, touch of glue, and you'll be good to go.
thanks to all our sponsors.
Now right back to the show.
I know, it's very entertaining, isn't it? I know. Really good. Woo.
Ladies special guest star, Mr. Hanratty.
Folks, listen now. What he is leaving out in his charming fashion is the fact that in just a few short months, this guy had soaked every branch at Chase Manhattan in the 5 boroughs and in northern New Jersey. Now listen, he opened accounts all over the tri-state area and dropped rubber in just about every hotel, grocery store, and dry cleaner from here to Hoboken. He was the Johnny Appleseed of fraud.
Mr. Hanratty, thanks for stopping by. We're going to be seeing more of him in just a bit. But right now, a much more exciting turn of events.
What he didn't know was that his bad checks had landed on my desk. He didn't know that his mother put out a missing persons report. He didn't know that his clock was ticking.
I'm sorry, Mr. Taylor. We can't cash this.
Say, Diane, I found this on the sidewalk out front, and I think it might be yours.
It's not.
I'm sorry, Mr. Taylor. We have new restrictions on cashing checks.
Seems someone put out an FBI bulletin.
If you'd like to leave us your home phone number, we can hold on to it.
You know, thank you, but I'm late for an appointment with my stockbroker.
He's going to try 6 more banks, same story. We were on it.
Why didn't he catch me?
It's only a matter of time.
Mr. Hanratty is jumping ahead.
What?
He and I don't even meet face-to-face for months yet. Right now, he's still stuck at his desk, trying to put it all together. You see, when my first 50 checks ran out, I bought a little printing press and I made my own. Well, I was producing more rubber than a tire factory. Mr. Hanratty and his team were trying to find my trail. And though I'm alive in living color, at the FBI, the show's in black and white.
And you stack them 10 high, could you make sure you're under them when they fall?
Whoops. Leave the kid alone.
Oh, come on, Hanratty. We always give the rookies a hard time. Do you remember how they razzed you?
Yes, and it's an experience that I see no reason to repeat. Now listen, we have at least 3 or 4 major league paper hangers somewhere in this mess, so we are going to sort it out. Even if it means we drop dead at our desks and our fossilized bones are discovered in some archaeological dig in the 21st century.
Come on, Hanratty, it's 4:45. It's Thanksgiving.
Listen, we do the job because it's the job, and we do the job well. And as long as I am interim second assistant special agent in charge of bank fraud and forgery subdivision, North Atlantic region, thank you very much, we will do the job until it is done, Thanksgiving or no Thanksgiving.
It's easy for you to say, Hanratty. Some of us still have wives.
Low blow, Agent Brennan. Oh, by the way, go home for lunch one of these days, unannounced. See how that works out for you.
He got you there.
Should you be in another department? Like maybe daycare?
I was auditing background checks for the Library of Congress, and I asked for a transfer. I requested something where I could use my gun. I like guns and cars, anything loud or fast, basically.
Yeah, how about Shelley Winter? She's loud and fast. Come on, Dollar! I know that this job is not as exciting as field work or counterintelligence.
Or a long, slow death.
And maybe nobody knows we're down here, but he does. Oh yeah, he does. The guy you're after, he knows. And the day you catch him, and you will, the day you slap those cuffs on him and watch them haul him away. Oh no, this is interesting. Oh, this is very, very interesting.
I know you think so, and that's the sad thing.
Look at these two. Look at these. He's changing the Micker numbers on the checks.
Micker?
Right there.
Micker Mouse?
Who the hell is Micker Mouse?
Micker! Micker, M-I-C-R. Magnetic ink character recognition. Jiminy Christmas. Frank Taylor must have got his hands on Micker encoder. And so did Frank Williams. Come here, look. If you change a 02 to a 12, the check that was cashed in New York gets rerouted all the way to San Francisco. It's weeks before the banks that cashed it. Those are bad.
You mean those numbers at the bottom of the check actually mean something?
They mean that Frank Taylor and Frank Williams and William Franklin are all the same person. And that means that he can stay in one place and pass bad checks for weeks and weeks. And that means there must be thousands more checks like this out there. More bad checks than a Prague prison. No! And that means no Christmas for you, Micker Mouse, and no Hanukkah for you.
Well, that should keep Mr. Hanratty busy for a while. But unfortunately, he was right. My clock was ticking. I'd always wanted to be good at something. Now I was really good at passing bad checks. I was a crook. Nothing more. And the shelf life was getting shorter. But then one day I would walk past the Tudor Hotel on 42nd Street, and destiny came walking out of those revolving doors. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me.
It's kind of late to be checking out, isn't it?
We all have evening lights.
We all? Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. Hi. Okay. Are you seeing this? Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me.
Who are you all waiting for?
The pilots!
Excuse me, miss. I've been training as a pilot. Is Pan Am hiring?
Oh, aren't you sweet?
Here.
Here it is. Talk to Jerry Taylor, VP of Personnel. Tell him Cindy sent you.
Thank you, Miss Cindy. Tell me, is flying everything it's cracked up to be?
The only thing better than flying is what happens on the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cindy, Minnie, Lindy, Kelly, Shelley, Nellie, Sherry, Terry, Carrie. I like to call them the jet set.
Just left Wisconsin, where there's cheese enough to start this rat race. All thanks to the Lord's pride. We don't know where we'll sleep tonight. Yeah, I'm a bird in the sky. And tomorrow when I rise, I'll wake up in Paris with a new love in my heart. Or maybe Germany with that brand new head I managed to get. Sky's the limit, time to play. I'll put down roots some other day. No need to be alone, a joke. A jet set is the only way to go.
So you're the kid writing the article for the school paper?
Yes, sir. Frank Black from Monroe High School. I want to know everything there is to know about being a Pan Am pilot. For instance, what does it mean when one pilot says to another pilot, I've been on the same equipment all week, jumping puddles for the week and weary?
It means they've been flying the same plane. Short flights, mostly commuters.
Cool. And what about those ID badges I've seen pilots wear?
Oh, well, every pilot has to have it with him at all times. It's an airline personnel badge, like this one here with my hands.
Gosh, thank you for your time, sir. I get a picture?
Sure.
Wouldn't you like to take that mystery? Each and every day, lose the same old music and history. Make a new friend and fly away. Wake up in Texas, where they treat their women right. And then try Hollywood, where the stars get talking on daylight. Any city, live on farm fields, twice as good as where you are. When you're sick of the status quo, the jet set is the only way to
My Pan Am pilot's badge. How cool is that?
Awfully young to be a pilot, aren't you?
I give them a lot. I'm just a co-pilot.
Why so nervous?
How would you feel if you lost your uniform your first week on the job?
Oh, I hear you. That'll be $143.97.
Write you a check.
No, no checks, no cash. Just need your employee number.
Of course. It's 614 345.
Great! I'll bill Pan Am. They'll take it out of the next paycheck.
That's why Pan Am will always be around.
Would you like a sleigh ride, a hay ride? You'll just stay home until you want jet set, jet set. Leave behind Kansas, there's no place like home.
wake up in Rio and your coffee in Brazil.
When life gets it down, take a far out one way trip to Brazil. Swedish Greek or Japanese.
nice uniform.
Don't I know you from somewhere?
Maybe. I was on the cover of 17 a few years ago.
Sure. You're that model. Cheryl Ann something in the plaza. Can I get your autograph?
Do you have a pen? In your room?
Yeah, I think I do.
So, Captain.
Oh, call me Frank.
Are you going to make me an offer?
I'm sorry, an offer for what?
A man like you can buy anything he wants. What's a night worth with me?
Well, gosh. I really don't know, Cheryl. 300? 500? $1,000.
$1,000.
I have to cash a check.
You think this hotel's going to cash $1,000 check at 3 a.m.?
They've done it for me before. It's a cashier's check.
Endorse it over to me.
It's for $1,400.
You give me the check, and I'll give you $400.
Even better.
Why the hell did you drag us all the way out to Quantico, Henry? This guy's a pen and ink man, a paper hanger. He probably doesn't even carry a gun.
We are getting closer to this guy, and you need to bone up on some of the skills you've let slide. Sitting in that sub-basement, sipping peppermint schnapps out of your coffee cup.
Yeah, but we can't fix a location on him. One day he's in Dallas, the next he's in Stuttgart, Rome, Barcelona.
Gone global. The last bad checks came from Liechtenstein. Where the hell is Liechtenstein?
The Principality of Liechtenstein is a landlocked alpine country in Western Europe, bordered by Switzerland to the south and the east and Austria to the west. And if our sub thinks that he can hide there, then he is sorely, sorely mistaken.
It's just forgery, Henry.
Oh.
There's no way the Bureau is going to give us travel money to go to Licken once a day.
This guy is just a forger like Mickey Mantle is just a hitter. Now, he's not playing the game, boys. He's making the rules. No, this guy's a true talent.
Jesus, Aunt Red, you want to risk or hire?
I see him in my sleep. 60-ish. Salt and pepper, tall. He's old school, a virtuoso. He has been honing his craft for years. Years, I tell you. But they always make a mistake, right? It's the overconfidence, or the wine, or the women.
No, if shooting people is anything like target practice, it's very disappointing. I didn't feel a thing.
Judas Priest, Stalin, this job is not about shooting people. And it's not about punching the clock, waiting for retirement, or sneaking off for quickies with the secretary on 3. No, this job is about just one guy, Frank Taylor, a.k.a. Frank Williams, a.k.a. William Franklin. And he is out there somewhere. He is toying with me. He is taunting me.
Come on, Aunt Red, he doesn't even know you exist.
He will, believe it. He will.
Okay, stay cool.
I will not stay cool. I have never been cool, and I don't intend to start now.
Were you always like this?
As long as I can remember. I think I was born this way. Other kids wanted to play cops and robbers. I only wanted to play cops.
Ladies and gentlemen, Carl Henry.
It starts very early. Once the baby toys are gone, a kid on the playground has to choose what side he's on. It's the bullies or the good guys, boy, there ain't no middle ground. No one wants to try the blurred line and twist the truth around. Then they call themselves a winner, but they're self-deceiving fools. The game ain't where the win if you're breaking all the rules. The law is laid upon us when as kids we first ask why. Our parents set the rules, and because I said so, they replied. And though I thought I hated them, and screamed with all my might, the next time that I had a choice, gee whiz, I did what's right. No, I never stuck the grin. I never stole a pack of coots, cause the game ain't worth the winning if you're breaking all the rules. Now elsewhere living in the wild west, don't break the rules. That's keeping scout. You don't want to fail that test. Don't break the rules. You thumb your nose right at the life for which I strive. But those rules, those laws keep us alive. When it started back with Moses, when he led around the Jews, and climbed way up that mountain to pick up God's daily news. He swept up old outside the cry, and they don't have a half. He almost dropped those tablets when he saw that golden calf. Now we teach the 10 Commandments every Sunday in our schools. Cause the game ain't worth the winning if you're breaking all the rules. I guess the Constitution, boys, to some is too complex. They think our founding fathers fought so they could afford some checks. They see themselves Robin Hood, stealing from the rich. Pay back the things they take, well, pay back is a bitch. Cause the world ain't sure for it. You can't give away those rules. And the game ain't worth winning if you're breaking our rules. Come on, break the rules. Out else we're living in a wild west. Don't break the rules. And that's keeping scout. You don't want to fail that test. Don't break the rules. You thumb your nose and the life for which I strive. But those rules, those laws keep us alive. When you steal somebody's money, screw his daughter or his wife, you don't think of repercussions as you tap it through your life. Though you smile like you're a hero, you're an outlaw. But the odds are in my favor, man. One day I'll catch you. You'll sneak into a movie where the red light says the lies. It's all the same to me. You're either guilty or you're not. You know how we run it. Every time we felt the urge, it's already on the verge. And it's laws that keep us human. Cause without them, we're confused. And the game ain't worth winning. I say the game ain't worth winning. Oh, the game ain't worth winning. If we're breaking all the rules, don't break the rules. Else we're living in a wild west. Don't break the rules. God's keeping scout. You don't want to fail that test. Don't break the rules. You thumb your nose and a life for which I strive. But those rules, those laws, baby, keep us alive. Okay, back to work. Crime doesn't take a holiday.
Good morning, First Officer. Are you my deadhead today?
Yes, ma'am. Been on the same equipment all week, jumping potholes for the week and weary.
Your first class is full, but I've got the jump seat open. Come on aboard.
Thank you.
Be sure to watch out for that Skyway man.
Skywayman?
You're dangerous, kid. Who the hell taught you to shoot?
Well, my daddy taught me how to turn a mister into a missus at 100 yards.
Yeah, I don't really want to know about that. Hand ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna regret this, but take a look at this field bullet. The Skyway man. All the airlines are after him.
He's an airline pilot.
Flying all over the world.
They don't know how he does it.
Maybe he forged some credentials.
Skywayman?
Maybe he's a master con artist.
A superhero?
Maybe he drops rubber everywhere he goes.
Crazy world we live in. I'll have to look out.
Nice work out, all right, boys? We're checking out every airport, hotel, motel, cafe, and commissary on the eastern seaboard. We just became front page news. Let's go!
Underneath is my uniform, all in silk from Paris. Immaculate glasses for you X-ray glasses. My pictures are all that you'll see.
back to the States.
My son's Birdman. Where you flying that plane tonight?
Well, I don't really fly, Dad. I'm sort of just a co-pilot.
Where?
Los Angeles.
Hollywood.
Shit.
Just look at us, Frankie. On top of the world.
Ah. Dad,
Yeah.
I went by the store today.
I had to close the store for a while. It's all a matter of timing, Frank. The goddamn government knows that too. They hit you when you're down. I wasn't going to let them take it from me, so I just shut the doors myself. Called their bluff. Sooner or later, they'd forget about me. What's this? Oh, Jesus.
Let's open up the store, Dad. We'll pay off the fence, get things back the way they were. I can help out now.
Keep it. You got your own words.
Oh, I'm fine. There's plenty more where that came from, believe me.
That's fine, Frank. You take good care of yourself.
But Dad, if
Do I look like I need your help? Double burger. Look, don't worry about your mom and me. She's stubborn, always has been. She's a formidable woman. I won't let her go without a fight.
If she saw you had the store.
200 soldiers in that tiny social hall watching her dance. Didn't speak a word of French. 6 weeks later, she's my wife.
She could be again.
I don't know, Frank.
Listen, Dad, everything's different now. I got this great job. I make lots of money. I can have breakfast in Rome, lunch in Miami, and dinner in San Francisco. I can snap my fingers. Strike up an orchestra.
Here I thought you were just a co-pilot.
I can be anything you need me to be. Because I learned for the best. Remember that story I learned at tveit? Now it's my turn to take a seat. To little mice of great renown fell in some milk and one proceeded to drown. The other one still toast of the town, 'cause he made butter out of cream. He looked around, used his plight, said this is no way to spend a Saturday night. But he had style to make things right, so he made butter out of cream. He kicked his legs up, he tossed and turned, so not to end up a ghost. He did the hokey pokey till the cream was churned. Yeah, he walked right out and buttered his toast. Now he's on top, for goodness sakes. Yeah, he's the big cheese of Atlanta Lakes. He's living proof that hot, all it takes is a scheme. So if you land in the gutter, just make butter out of cream. Hey, it's your turn, Dad.
Nah, you're doing great.
Learn, this is a duet. It's Frank and Dean. It's not a solo act.
Well, you know, there is one I haven't told you.
Really?
There was a cockroach in Brazil that got drunk at his local coffee mill. He thought his time was up until he made coffee out of beans. When he came to, he heard such a sound. He was shocked when he looked around. He had to scoop it was all dirty ground, so he made coffee out of beans. He marched to the south and stomped to the north. He had to race against fate. He didn't move right about those tears full forth when the seahorse things began to percolate. He held his breath and swam to the top. He borrowed beans from his mom and pop and opened up his own coffee shop out in Queens. But his lights were on. Just make butter out of cream.
Make some butter out of it.
I hear what you're saying, son. I'll make butter out of cream.
How do you want sweat?
Manager says he just checked out 3 hours ago. Was here almost a week. No forward.
Looks like he left in a hurry.
All right, gentlemen, impress me. Mr. Taylor, real name unknown, has left us a gold mine.
The Flash! He likes comic books.
He lives on junk food. He has a breast fetish.
Oh my God! It's ham ready!
Oh, that is funny. That is really, really funny. Yeah, I'll make a note and laugh later when you're dead. Come on, people! What's his next move? What goes on in the mind of an obsessive loner?
Why don't you tell us?
A man's secrets are in his trash.
I'll take your word for it.
Brent and Cotton, go canvass the other guests. Dollar. I want license plate numbers on every car in the parking lot. I will process the room. Go!
Right, it's the AMRAD. You ever look at your own garbage? What?
No. Something is not jiving here. The Flash? Peanut butter? Maybe he's got a kid? All right, Mr. Taylor. I know you're in here somewhere. A comic book. A Miss July. A matchbook from the flame. Some chewing gum. A mismatched pair of shoes. A letter home that wasn't mailed. Ooh, a check without a name. Yeah, that'll be my guide to the man inside the clue.
Hello? Frankie, is that you?
Is it him?
Frankie!
Well, it's...
Frankie, are you there? Frankie?
Bobby pin, 2 baseball cards, some day-old Chinese food, 2 ticket stubs. The Red Sox, always lose. Valentine wasn't sent, sent to set the mood. When I take a ride with a man inside the clue.
Hi, Mr. Room Service. I'd like to place an order. Oh, no. I know it's late. I just flew in from Ireland. Have you been there? Oh, it's so beautiful. They got these... Yeah, sure. I'll hold.
Do not disturb is on the door. The maid, she never comes. He locked the door, but I don't need a key. There's only garbage on the floor. To others, they're just crumbs. Those crumbs are like a 5-course meal to me. Yeah, hey, listen, Pan Am Stationery. As a Pan Am pilot, my family flies for free. The 2 of you should come out to Los Angeles with me. Maybe then at Sunset. Who knows? But we know he's going to Los Angeles, and so are we.
Fantastic!
That's the best idea he's had yet.
Well, you could use the sun. If you're any more pale, you be transparent.
my customers harassed.
Wait. You mean he's still here?
201.
I take the entrance, you guys take the other exit, down to take the parking lot. I will put it away. If you're good little boys, I buy you a good humor bar.
You said there wouldn't be any trouble.
Relax, mister, you'll get one too. Oh. FBI! FBI, come up, your hands on your head!
Guys got in Ricker and Cooper. Can you believe it?
Don't move, put your hands on your head or I will shoot!
We've got about 200 checks here, a gallon of India ink, drafting glue. He even makes little paper envelopes addressed to himself from Pan Am.
Get your hands on your head!
Relax, buddy. You're late. The name's Allen. Barry Allen, United States Secret Service. Your man just tried to climb out the window. My partner has him in custody. Downstairs.
Get your hands up.
You think the FBI are the only ones tracking this guy? He's been dabbling in government checks. We've been following the paper trail for months. We almost had him in New York, then in a motel outside D.C. near Dulles Airport. Would you mind taking that gun out of my face? It makes me nervous.
Let me see some identification.
Here. Take my whole wallet. You want my gun too?
No. I wasn't expecting Secret Service on this.
Oh, don't worry about it. Hey, what's your name anyway?
Oh, Hammer, Carl Hammer.
Mind if I see some ID, Carl?
Yeah, sure, yeah. No, sorry, I'm a little... Okay, yeah, right here. That's it.
Tough luck, Carl. 5 minutes earlier. Oh, you lent yourself a pretty good collar.
Oh, that's okay. 10 seconds later and you'd have been shot. Hey, let me ask you something. What does he look like?
Oh, well, he's a handsome son of a bitch.
Yeah? You know, I hadn't figured for an older guy.
Oh, he is pretty damn old. He's got to be, well, your age at least.
Oh! Okay, I guess I asked for that one. Okay.
Oh, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Sit tight a minute. I got some of this evidence downstairs.
Sure.
I don't want anybody walking through my crime scene.
Right.
You know, some maid comes in here and starts making a bed.
Yes.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. Wait.
What?
Your wallet.
Hang on to it till I come back for the rest of the stuff. I trust you.
You shouldn't. That was a joke.
Oh boy.
Yes,
Hey, you got me, Carl.
Come on.
All right.
Oh, God, nice guy. Oh. Oh, we got him! Ooh, I love my job. Ooh, I love it. Wait. Frank Taylor. Frank Black. Frank Williams. Frank. Fuck! No! No, I had him! He was right there!
What are you talking about?
I let him convince me he was someone else. Barry Allen from the Secret Service!
Barry Allen? The Flash?
What?
Barry Allen is the alter ego of the Flash.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We all make mistakes, sir. It happens to the best of us.
Not to me! Not to me!
Wasn't it? Misdirection, maintain eye contact, keep talking. Mr. Hanratty and his men hook the next plane back to DC and... caught the one after that. No, I don't know why. I guess I always want to see our nation's capital at Christmas. The best time of year.
Redeem yourself with the boys upstairs by having a miserable holiday.
You're wrong. It's not Christmas Eve, it's Christmas.
You want me to stay?
No, you got kids. Go home.
Merry Christmas, Helen.
Yep. This is handwriting. Merry Christmas.
Hello, Carl.
Who's this?
I've been trying to track you down. Merry Christmas.
Barry Allen, Secret Service. What do you want?
I want to apologize for what happened out in Los Angeles.
Yeah, screw you.
Carl, I'm sorry if I made a fool of you.
God damn you! You don't feel sorry for me. The fact is, I knew it was you. I did. You know, maybe I didn't pull the trigger, but I knew.
Carl, people only know what you tell them.
Then tell me something. How did you know I wouldn't look in your wallet?
I didn't.
You're gonna get caught. You know that, don't you? One way or another, just like Vegas, the house always wins.
I didn't think I'd get you in. It's Christmas. I thought maybe you had a family.
No family.
Me neither.
Yet don't you love the Yuletide fun? There's joy and cheer for everyone. I wait for Santa with a gun. Yes, Christmas is my favorite time of year.
Some sugar plums I haven't kissed, but mistletoe I must resist, 'cause I'm on St. Paul's most wanted list.
Yes, Christmas is my favorite time of year. And there's a home where you can't go. And there's a life that's full of love you used to know. For me, it's true. But heed not you.
'Cause your family's here.
Yeah, they're still yours to hold if you come in from home. So if tomorrow Santa's phone, the tree is down and you're alone, I'm always here, right by the phone. Yes, Christmas is my favorite time of year. Wait a minute! You didn't call me to apologize, did you?
What do you mean?
You got no one else to talk to.
I have to go.
Frank, wait!
Mr. Handwriting was right. It was a lonely life. But I was about to meet someone, and she was going to change everything. But right now, tonight,
Frank!
I'm still here.
Sooner or later, you'll get tired of running.
Sooner or later, you get tired of Jason.
No, I won't.
Look out the window.
Why?
Just do it. I'll call you soon. Much close.
And Frank, I hope we'll meet again. Like when you're serving 8 to 10. Yes, Christmas is my favorite time of He's a kid? He's a kid. It's simple. We know he's a kid. We find out who's responsible for the kid. So, we check on every runaway student, missing teen in the tri-state area over the past 3 years. Now, I pulled a list from the mainframe, and we just go to each address and ask to see a family photo.
How long will that take?
As long as it takes. Let's go, man.
Well, good luck with that. Orange and Man Rabbit. I think that's going to take a while. Well, my career as a pilot is pretty much done. I rung out almost every bank in the Northeast, so it was time for me to lay low for a while, live off my savings. I moved to the Riverbend Apartments, Atlanta, Georgia. A real nice complex, full of professionals, the perfect place to keep things quiet. Of course, a few years later, Riverbend was written up in Playboy as the address for swinging singles, but for right now, I just had to keep a low profile. No more cons, no more high living, no more lies.
So, Frank, what brings you to the Riverbend complex? I thought it was just us doctors and nurses here.
Oh, well, you know, I'm a doctor.
What do you do? Surgery, orthopedics?
Pediatrics?
Oh, snot-nosed little kids? You didn't have them. Listen, I'll find out if there's anything open down in Atlanta General. It'd be great to have you there.
Oh, no, thank you. I mean, what am I doing? I can't be a doctor. Why do I do this every time? Ladies and gentlemen, nurses.
Hey, doctor, are you on call? I'm not feeling so well at all. Can't feel without you, 'cause I could not sleep away last night. I toss and turn the whole night long. Can't feel like something's wrong. I need a checkup to lay everything off.
What do you recommend, Dr. Macy?
Well, let's not jump to any conclusions. We'll run every test we can. We'll find what's ailing the son.
That'll come in handy. And I could pick up a few books at the Emory bookstore, but there is the little matter of med school degree.
Harvard University! Very impressive, Dr. Connors. And you actually brought in your diploma.
Oh, Act 2 was brought to you by parchment paper, calligraphy, and press-on letters.
And we also have your recommendation from Death Valley Children's Hospital. Dr. Henry.
He's my mentor.
Well, you're just the perfect candidate.
I should mention, the sight of blood makes me vomit. No, seriously.
Well, at the moment, the only thing open is overnight ER supervisor, beneath the doctor of your qualifications. And you primarily be supervising residents and interns, so you don't get much real patient contact.
I'll take it.
All right, then. Welcome aboard.
She was real. The minute I saw her, I knew she was the one. And it didn't hurt that she was the best nurse there. I needed the help.
Dr. Connors, MBA, car versus bike. Should we set it or get a surgical consult?
Well, let's not jump to any conclusions, Nurse Strong. We'll run every test we can.
Okay, Dr. Connors, but...
He's got a bone sticking out of his leg.
Yes, Doctor, I concur. Please go. Go.
You heard it. Go, go.
Wait, no, not you. Hey. I've been getting very much sleep at the apartment.
Dr. Connors, do you know which patient gets the O negative? Doctor? O negative! Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry, just some bad tuna at the cafeteria.
Is there anything I can do?
You can have coffee with me.
But their coffee's worse than their tuna. Oh, you mean have a cup of coffee in a social way? Huh.
I guess I do. I've tried to start a conversation with you 4 times a day for 11 days, and you've barely said hello. Is it me?
I'm so sorry, Dr. Connors. Hello.
Hello?
Goodbye.
Nurse Strong.
I'm sorry, sir. They don't like us to fraternize with doctors.
Well, pretend I'm not a doctor. Pretend I'm a pilot or an astronaut.
I don't think I could see you as a pilot. A playboy, maybe.
I'm not really into all that riverbend madness. It's just sort of a part I play.
So you're not really a skirt-chasing party animal. You just want people to think you are?
Oh, yeah. I mean, no. I mean, wait.
Good day, Dr. Connors.
You're very serious.
I'm just trying to do a good job, sir. I'm the youngest nurse here.
You have this doctor here, and you're the best nurse we have.
Oh, no. No one ever listens to me. They're all so confident and sure of themselves and tall.
If you want them to listen to you, you just have to sound like you know what you're talking about. You act like you have confidence, and pretty soon you will. Act like you're not afraid, and you won't. Okay?
Okay.
slicer, and they can't exactly find the hand.
Trouble one! Alpha surgery! Go!
Oh, see, look at you.
Thank you, Dr. Connors.
I'll call him Frank.
Okay. Frank. Oh, surgery.
Alive in living color. Yeah, the picture seems so clear. She's alive in living color. So, excuse me while I disappear.
Sooner or later, they always make a mistake.
Brenda wasn't a mistake.
Sooner or later.
Meanwhile, it's taking Agent Hanratty a really long time to come to the house of every single runaway.
Actually, we cracked it pretty quickly.
Mr. Hanratty, it's my show.
I interviewed your parents. You weren't there. You were busy with Brenda. Yeah, maybe this part is my show.
All right,
Yeah?
fine.
Sort of a film noir type of thing. Philip Marlowe.
Sure. It was hot.
Even for August. So hot, my ass was sticking to the seat of my car like a fly on paper. And my suit was my own personal sauna. But not as hot as the woman I was about to interview. She gave new meaning to the words femme fatale. Too bad she was some poor kid's mother.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paula Abagnale and the Abagnale Dancers perform Dancing Around the Subject.
I haven't seen Frankie since he ran away. I always knew when to see this day. I can't say it's a shock. What's that expression used to say? The chip of the old clock. But if you see him, please pass on this plea. Don't be a stranger. Tell him that for me.
If I could just see a photo.
I don't have a recent one. Here, his junior class yearbook.
That's him. Heavens to Betsy, that is him. Class treasurer.
Is Frankie in some sort of trouble?
Ma'am, your son is in a great deal of trouble. He has been passing bad checks, forging government documents.
Well, so half of the kids his age are unknown, but instead you chase after Frankie because he made a little mistake. Tell me how much he owes. I'll write you a check.
So far, it is $1.4 million. Oh no, it's possible. Oh, it's unlikely, but it's possible.
It sounds like Frankie's good at this.
Because if you were hoping to raise a crook, you should be very proud.
My Frankie had a clever mind. He could spend hours on the phone. I wouldn't have been surprised to find he changed his diaper on his own. Could I have been there more? Well said I be. Don't be a stranger. Tell him that for me.
You haven't heard from him since you left your husband?
So I'm to blame. Is that what you're saying?
I don't do blame, ma'am. I just catch the bad guys.
Though I tried, I couldn't hide when love had gone away. Children close their eyes, but still they see. I took a chance, a new romance. Is it a crime to say I made a choice and I chose what's best for me?
Where might I find your son?
Ask his father. He says Frankie writes to him.
And where would I find his father?
Check the bars in town.
Okay then.
I guess you, I see,
Don't be afraid.
Don't be a stranger. Tell me
No, don't be a stranger. Tell them that
Do you have any idea where your child is?
He's always in the air. He's a pilot for Pan Am. What a life.
Your son isn't a pilot with anyone, Mr. Averdale. He never was. Your son is a counterfeit and a con man.
I knew that. I just wanted to see what you knew. You expect the father to give up his son?
Yes, I do. I expect a father to do that, Mr. Averdale. Now listen to me. People get shot in my line of work, okay? Real guns, real bullets. I'd like to bring him in alive.
Okay. Here's the truth. I got a letter from him just today. Joined up. He's over in Nam serving his country.
Can I see that letter?
There's no return address. He's in country, risking his life for you and me. Not a bad way to leave his troubles behind, I'd say. Got out of the game at just the right time.
Wait. The game?
Oh, come on, you know the game. Don't let the bastards get the best of you. Look out for yourself when banks and government and the big boys try to rob you blind.
Is that what you taught your son?
A man should go after what he wants in life.
A man should face up to what he's done.
These two need some music. A saloon song. Two lonely souls. What could they possibly have in common?
Mr. Averdale.
Please, Frank.
Frank, listen, your kid needs you now.
What can I possibly do for him? He can't do better for himself.
You can tell him to come in. You can tell him to stop. And you might be the only one who can.
Well, then I think we're all in a lot of trouble, Carl. Now, the kid used to see me as Dean Martin, Jesus Christ, and JFK all rolled into one. I couldn't live like that. I did the best I could. I told him I loved him every day.
Yeah, well, maybe you should have told him not to commit grand larceny.
Oh, Christ. It's the way of the world, Carl. Our fathers screw us up and we turn around and do the same thing to our kids. Eternal cycle.
Until somebody breaks it.
Little boy, be a man. That was Pop's only plan. Never kissed me, sang baby mine. Sure, I love the hug, but hey, I came out just fine. And if I ever cry, he'd smack the tear from out my eye. He told me, grow up, kid, you know Peter Pan. Little boy, be a man.
And you want to do your kid better, right?
You got any kids, Carl?
You're not.
What the hell do you know about it? I suppose your father was a prince.
Yep, of darkness. Little man, grow some balls. I swear to every single day that motto rang throughout the hall. True story. On my 10th birthday, he showed me a gun, then took me to the cornfields and said, okay, run. Sure, his sense of humor was lame.
Like father, like son.
Hey, lucky for me, so was his aim. If he had sewn some needlepoint that hung on the walls, it would have said, little man, grow some balls. Ball games that he missed, nights he came home pissed. Well, I don't think about that any longer. No, sure about that?
Hey, you gotta let go, Carl. Can't hang out forever. Little man, little me. They come with no warranty. I tried to fix it. Who would have guessed? It's hard to say, but Father
Doesn't always know. That's the truth, Frank.
So, Carl, when you have a kid,
My ex said heaven forbid.
do as I say, not as I did.
Like dad after dad after dad after dad till the whole mess began.
Do the best that you can.
Little boy, be a man. Hey, phone. I need to get to Atlanta. Listen, make sure he gets home okay.
Buddy, he is home.
I've looked into so many lives, but never got this close. The distance made it easier to see. You see, I like to do the job at hand, and then it's adios. But here's a case that's got the best of me. An envelope with his address, a brand new set of tracks, leading to a kid with no roads left to choose. There's no one left to save the day. It's time to face the facts. So I'll take that ride to the boy inside the cool.
Cold blue! Cold blue! Honey, in the I see you!
Brenda, come on, it's okay.
I'm sorry, Frank. I want to. I'm not ready.
It's okay. I can wait. I'd wait forever for you. It took me a month just to get you to talk to me.
I didn't mean to be rude.
No. Love a challenge.
But why me, Frank? You could have any nurse here. You know girls from everywhere. You've been to Paris and Italy and, my God, think of all the beautiful women there must be in Germany. Why me?
Because I love that you're good at your job and you work hard. I love that I can be myself around you. I love that I can ask you anything, like, why'd you leave New Orleans?
No reason. Well, I sort of ran away.
You ran away? Wow. Why would you do something like that?
I was engaged to be married. He was the son of my father's law partner, and he wasn't very nice to me. And on the morning of my wedding day, I looked at myself in my dress and I realized I didn't want to marry him. And so I left home, and I haven't been back since.
I'm sorry. You know, I'll never hurt you.
You say that now, but we have nothing in common.
I think we have more than you know.
But you're the Harvard graduate world traveler. I'm just ordinary.
Ordinary is beautiful. I don't need Paris. I don't need a fancy restaurant, a huge orchestra. Just some subtle orchestrations. like me. All that other stuff was just what I found along the way while I was looking for you. I've seen the 7 wonders, if you give or take a few. All them 7 wonders, well, they can't compare to you. I've been a lot of places, yes, I've traveled near and far. Now I know home is where you are. Niagara Falls, leaky faucet, and a plumber on the fix. Pyramids are really just dusty tile and bricks. Taj Mahal, a fixer-upper. Grand Canyon, just a hole. Grand Canal in Venice, an Italian toilet bowl. I see the 7 wonders, if you give or take a few. All them 7 wonders, well, they can't compare to you. I've been a lot of places, yes, I traveled near and far. Now I know that home is where you are. It's just a nightlight on the fritz.
And Stonehenge.
It's just a bunch of rocks.
The brightest star.
Yes.
About the leaning tower of Pisa.
Looks like something up in the road.
Mount Rushmore.
Someone climb up there and tell them boys a joke. My travel days are over. Get the check, I'll pay the bill. 'Cause I see all the wonders in your eyes, just standing still. Do you think you could go home again if you were engaged?
What? Come on, Fred, don't tease
No,
me.
we can go to your parents and tell them we're in love.
My father is very intimidating. He'll change your mind.
I won't. We should run away tonight.
We can't run away. You are the overnight year supervisor.
Brenda, the clock's ticking. I can't. I don't want to be a doctor forever. I want to make a home with you. Been a lot of places, but I've learned now here and far. There's no need to roam. This home is where
There's no need to know, 'cause home is where you are.
'cause now I know that home is where you are. Well, Brenda and I go get dressed and catch the train to New Orleans. Fast forward a few weeks for a little segment I like to call Frank's on First.
Doctor, we're looking for a man who goes by the name of Frank Abagnale, Frank William Abagnale, Frank Taylor, Frank Williams, William Franklin, and William Franklin Williams.
That's a lot of names.
What about Robert Franklin? Frank Thompson, Frank Myers, Meyer Williams, William Robertson,
Robert Wilson?
Robert Williams.
William Robertson.
Wilson Robertson?
Robert Wilkinson?
Shut up, Doctor.
Have you seen a man look like this?
Maybe, but that man's a pilot.
He's not a
He
pilot.
looks like a pilot.
He's not a pilot.
So is he a doctor?
Wait! He's a doctor?
Are you asking me or telling me?
Did you say he's a doctor?
Son, do you have any idea who you're looking for?
Frank William Abagnale Jr.
AKA Frank Williams, Frank Taylor.
Shut up, Doctor!
You know, we did have a Frank Connor.
Frank Collins?
Frank Connor.
Frank Collins. So who's Frank Collins?
You tell me. I don't know.
I know Frank Collins in high school.
Shut up, Collins. Frank Connors look like this.
Well, without the uniform. Ran off with the nurse. Friend of something. Don't know where. Too bad. Good doctor. Turned in all his paperwork on time.
You let this man operate on patients?
Oh, no. He just supervised the ER.
Oh, for the love. Doc! You ever go in to take out an appendix and come up with something else?
Once or twice. Why?
Let's go.
Introducing our newest young star, Brenda Strong, featuring the lovely, witty, refined, and unique Mrs. Carol Strong, and the cultured, brilliant, and, well, incredibly intimidating future father-in-law, Roger Strong, District Attorney.
And before Atlanta, you were in California.
Yes, sir, Death Valley Children's Hospital.
They have a children's hospital in Death Valley?
Yes, sir. Right behind the Macy's.
Well, goddamn and gumbo, Brenda, I think you landed one this time. Much better than that rowdy little Delacroix boy. This one's a hunky, you betcha.
Mother.
Dr. Connors, you come from a large family?
Please, sir, call me Frank. I'm an only child, but I hope to have lots of kids. Family is the most important thing.
Ding, ding, correct answer. But now for the make or break round. And don't lie to me now. Are you a Lutheran?
Why, yes, I am a Lutheran.
Well then, Frank, would you like to say grace? Unless you're not comfortable.
Oh, no, absolutely. Two little mice fell into a bucket of cream. The first mouse quickly gave up and drowned, but the second mouse, he struggled so hard that he eventually churned that cream into butter and walked out. Amen.
Amen. Amen, and goddamn, that was beautiful. Where did you learn that, you pious piece of cutie pie?
The First Lutheran Church of Death Valley.
Frank, you decided which hospital you want to work at here, Lord?
Well, to be quite honest, sir, I'm thinking about getting back into law.
Are you a doctor or a lawyer?
You see, before I went to medical school, I passed the bar in California. I practiced law for a year, and then decided, why not try my hand at pediatrics?
Well, aren't you full of surprises?
Yes, I am.
Sakes alive, the yummy Yankee is a doctor and a lawyer? Ooh, Brenda, darling, you got yourself magic on a stick with this one.
Went to the law school. Harvard, Yale, Columbia.
Berkeley.
Berkeley? That is where Daddy went!
Oh, wow! Ha, fantastic.
Oh, my saints and stars, Roger. Frank should work for you. You're always belly aching about how hard it is to find assistant prosecutors who aren't value inbreds.
So, Frank, was that Snake Hollingsworth still teaching there when you went through Berkeley?
Hollingsworth. Yes. Grumpy old Hollingsworth, right? I tell you, meaner than ever.
That dog of his. Tell me, Frank, what was the name of his little dog?
I'm sorry, sir. The dog was dead when I got there.
How unfortunate. A doctor, a lawyer, a Lutheran. So, what are you, Frank? Because I think you're about to ask my daughter's hand in marriage, and I have a right to know.
Know what, sir?
The truth. Tell me the truth, Frank. What are you doing here? Doesn't matter your accomplishments still with Brenda. After all, we've been through all this before with her.
Brenda is the best girl I've ever known, sir. She's the real thing.
But who are you, Frank? You want my blessing. If you want my daughter, I'd like to hear the truth from you now.
Truth. Truth, sir, is... Truth is, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. Nothing really. Just a kid who's in love with your daughter.
No. I know what you are. You're a romantic. Yes, you are! Men like us are nothing without the women we love.
God damn it, Dumbo!
Woo! Oh, Frank! Oh, Daddy!
Brenda Strong, will you marry me?
That's Frank Connors. I will marry you.
Frank, welcome to the family tree.
came to see you. Why are you dressed like that?
Took the job. Government job. I'm beating them at the wrong end. I'm a government employee. See how beautiful that is? Hey, you got a good lawyer.
I sort of am a little bit now.
You look at this letter. IRS wants more. Educate, no one wants crumbs. You know what? I'll make them chase me for the rest of their lives. I got an FBI agent come see me. Oh, you got the numbers. United States government champ, running for the hills.
Dad, it's over. Now stop.
They're never going to catch you, Frankie. What do you stop?
I'm settling down. I'm going to raise a family. I came here to give you this. It's an invitation to the engagement party. Daddy, I'm getting married. Can you believe it? I'm getting married.
Why would you do that? You're on top of the world.
Changing my life, Dad. You don't have to worry about anything anymore. The house, Cadillac, everything they took from us. I'm going to get it all back. And Mom's going to see it.
Your mother is remarried to my friend, Jack Barnes. They got our house out on Long Island.
Why would she do? Don't give the area, Frank. Why would she do that to us?
There's no us anymore. Listen to me. I'm your father.
Then tell me to stop.
Why would I tell you to stop?
Because you're my father.
But no, you can't stop. You're on a winning streak. You gotta ride that. You gotta ride it, baby. You're having now. They know the key to life. Frankie, sing with me. 'Cause I never thought to sing. Don't just hey, hit it, guys. Stand around and scream. Spike some lemonade and drink. And make butter out of it. Just make butter. Frankie.
Well, Dr. Connors, what do you want?
I want to to be over. I'm getting married, Carl. I'm settling down. I'm gonna have a family.
You have stolen almost $2 million. You think we're just going to call that a wedding present? This is not something that you can walk away from, Frank. You will be caught. You will go to jail. Where did you think this was headed?
Please, just let me stop, Carl, please.
You're scared because you know I'm getting closer. I know you rented that car in Shreveport, the hotel in Lake Charles. You're scared and you're tired.
I'm getting married.
Uh-huh.
I met the girl, Carl. The one.
Does she know the truth about who you are?
Do you?
Almost all of it.
Goodbye, Carl.
All the Louisiana newspapers the last 2 months look for an engagement notice. Frank Connors.
Oh, he would have changed his name by now.
He can't. She knows him as Frank Connors. He loses the name, he loses the girl. They always make a mistake.
Frank, where should I put these? The checks and these rings from Daddy's friends. Frank, what are you doing? Everyone's downstairs waiting to meet the groom-to-be.
I have to leave, Brenda.
What?
You love me, right?
Of course, Frank.
I mean, you would love me no matter what.
Of course.
Whether I was poor, or whether I was sick, or whether I had a different name.
I heard you put up that money.
Name, right? What's your name? My name's Frank Connors, right? That's who I am when I'm with you, but we all have secrets. Sometimes when I travel, I use the name Frank Taylor. That's my secret.
Like, what are you talking about? Why are you saying all this?
I'm not lying to you anymore. I'm not a doctor. I never went to medical school. I'm not a lawyer, or a Harvard graduate, or a Berkeley graduate, or a Lutheran. I ran away from home 2 years ago when I was 16.
Frank, you're not Lutheran.
Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. In 2 days, you're gonna meet me at Miami International Airport. Here's what. You're gonna leave the house after your parents go to sleep. Take a taxi cab. Give the driver that money. Tell him to drive all through the night. You're not gonna tell anyone. Promise?
I can't. I'll be too afraid. I am no good at lying.
You know you can do this. It's like I said before. You act like you're brave, and you will be.
Frank! Please, before you go, please tell me your name.
It's Frank William Abigail Jr.
I love you, Frank.
Me too. I have to.
Frank!
Let's hope for your eyes. I'm gonna see you real soon.
I don't think I can do this alone.
I know you can. You have to. The spotlight's on you.
Brenda, sweetheart, where is he?
He's gone.
Where did he go? You listen. Listen to me, Brenda. This could end very, very badly, all right? He is wanted in every state by men who shoot to kill. Now, you need to tell me where he's going. Now!
I can't.
Henry!
What?
Leave the gifts or someone leave it out the back.
Don't go anywhere.
Brenda, darling, if you love him, you'll do the right thing. Young lady,
I walk into the sunset, I say
stop.
If I don't know how?
You don't have a choice.
Go. I can run right now.
I know, but you won't.
How do you know?
Because you're tired of running. Because it won't bring your dad back.
I know that. I just wanted to help him get back on his feet.
I know, Frank, look at me. Look at me now. Hey. Come with me, okay? Come with me. You do your time, you pay your debt to society, and then we'll get you out early. You come work for the Bureau. We need your know-how. I'm telling you, we are years behind in counterfeit and forgery, and now, you know, with these credit cards and computers coming in, it's only going to get...
Why would you want to help me?
Because I'm the only one who can.
Thanks, Mr. Hitler.
Hey, Frank. Merry Christmas, son. Okay, come on.
FBI, really? You're gonna lock me up and then let me out and pay me for what you locked me up for?
That's what I said.
I get a badge.
Even better, you get a life.
How do we end this?
Your way.
Really?
Stop your sobbing, kid, before I shoot. Your nose is running on my only suit. That's disgusting. Who'd have thought I'd share this dance with you? Looks like we're stuck together, which is strange but true.
Yes, you caught me. Now the chase is done.
Thank God.
Must admit, I gave you quite the run.
You did okay, kid. You did okay.
Mr. Tortoise, usual rabbit stew. It's like we're stuck together, which is strange but true.
Okay, all right. Tell Mr. Ridley I believe it or not. The show is over and he's all that I got. Hard to believe it, but we're tying the knot today.
That's okay.
Frank, thank your public while you're still in your prime. Oh, they'll be seeing you for quite a long time. And after you pay for your life of crime, well, kid, we'll see what good behavior can do. Till then, we're stuck together, which is strange, but hey, keep your promise. How did you cheat the bar exam?
Didn't cheat. I studied.
You're kidding me. I hate you. I hate this guy.
Mr. Handwriting turns out to be as good as his word.
Frank was sentenced to 15 years in prison, but was released after 7 for good behavior.
Carl and I became great friends, and even was a godfather of my kids.
Brenda married a real doctor and lived happily ever after.
I set up my own security company and paid back every bad check I ever passed.
He never paid me back.
Now, Shirley, come on, let it go. Just let it go. You gotta get over it, honey.
but now a new duet has made its debut. Now we're stuck together, oh yeah. Back together, oh yeah. Stuck together, it's just right. Your junior hard kid. Folks, a simple case of monkey see, monkey do. I'm glad to be on your team.
Me too, Frank. Hey, listen. Let's make some butter out of cream. No, I'm just gonna see
really.
Last Sunday night brought the opening of Catch Me If You Can. Frank DeLella caught up with the Catch Me company at the opening night party.
Right down to Italy,
The high-flying new musical Catch Me If You Can took off officially this past Sunday night at Broadway's Neil Simon Theater. Based on the book and film of the same name, Catch Me If You Can tells the true story of con artist Frank Abagnale Jr. and his quest for a better life. Director Jack O'Brien spoke to me about the show's ride or flight to Broadway.
For all of the principals and us, it's over 2 years of experience with this. While we went to Seattle, while we condensed, while we pared, while we shaped, while we took things out, and there were 4 years ahead of that. So there's this sense of compression of real people making a real investment in something they love.
Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman penned the music to Catch Me If You Can, a la a 1960s TV special.
If Frank was going to tell his story, it would be in very grand scale. It wouldn't be modest. And that seemed to suit his musical needs the most.
It happened very organically. As we started writing songs, they were more than slightly presentational, and his father's songs sounded like a Frank Sinatra song. His mother's song sounded like a Judy Garland special.
Aaron Tveit stars as the young con artist Frank Abagnale Jr. opposite a cast full of Broadway favorites, including Norbert Leo Butz, Tom Wopat, and Carrie Butler.
Talk about a dream come true. I kind of get to sing so many different styles of music in the show, and it's a challenge every night, but I love that about it.
I love the story, and I love the group that I'm working with, and I feel really blessed, you know.
We're all so close because of Seattle, and And Norbert is hilarious. And Aaron is unbelievable. They threw so many changes at Aaron, and he just took it in stride.
Real-life bad boy turned good Frank Abagnale Jr. was on hand for the starry opening night.
Your life has been a book, a film, a Broadway musical. What's next?
I bet any amount of money DreamWorks takes this and makes it into a musical for motion picture.
Oh, yeah?
I wouldn't doubt it.
But for now, the spotlight is on the musical stage. And you can catch Me If You Can live in living color at Broadway's Neil Simon Theater. At Cipriani 42nd Street, Frank DeLella for On Stage.
Okay, thanks.
And now Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman are best known for composing the buoyant musical Hairspray, but audiences expecting similar joys in their latest adaptation of Catch Me If You Can may be disappointed. Rest assured, there are joys aplenty in this quirky new show, but it's closer to the darker tones of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with less bile and more heart. Like the film, Catch Me If You Can tells the true story of Frank Abagnale Jr., who at the age of 16 became a successful con man, bilking millions from banks and an all-too-trusting public. He duped a lot of smart people into thinking he was an airline pilot, doctor, and lawyer. Hot on his heels is FBI agent Carl Hanratty. Norbert Leo Butz departs from the cliched bumbling detective with the kind of nuanced portrait you'd expect in a drama, all the while singing and dancing like the musical star that he is.
The world would be in total chaos. It's already on the verge.
Aaron Tveit as Abagnale holds his own, displaying a tremendous range, revealing Frank's lost and lonely soul beneath the cocky naivete. Jack O'Brien's direction is seamless, but Terrence McNally's book undercuts the narrative by framing the action with a 60s-style TV variety show. The tongue-in-cheek approach has a distancing effect. On the plus side, it allows some talented choreens to strut their stuff under Jerry Mitchell's winning choreography. Shaman and Whitman's eclectic score is catchy, and the generous songwriters gave just about everyone in this fine company a chance to shine. Tom Wopat as Frank's hapless dad and Carrie Butler, the fiancée, are standouts. In a sense, producing a Broadway show is something of a con job itself. Think how often audiences end up feeling ripped off. No such crime here. Despite some missteps, Catch Me If You Can delivers plenty bang for your buck. Roma Torrey for On Stage.
Time for grad school. Here's a little story I would say. There was a cockroach from Brazil, got drunk in his local coffee mill. He thought his time was up until he made coffee out of beans.
That's the Constitution, boys! The stomach's too complex! They think our founding fathers fought so they could forge some tricks. And now look and they see themselves a Robin Hood stealing from the rich. And don't you know that I pay back the things they take? Well, paying back is a bitch. Cause the world ain't sure what forest you can give away those jewels. And the game ain't worth winning if you're bringing home.
sexy showgirls, a swinging score, and an incredible real-life story about a teenage boy who conned the world. We're here at rehearsals for Catch Me If You Can to find out about the spring's hottest new musical. Why Catch Me If You Can on Broadway?
It's glamorous, entertaining, and a sweet, sweet story, but it's the kind of thing that appeals to us.
What do you love about this story?
Yeah, I've loved this story from the second I read it. I always believe that. I think you get something and you sit down and you read it, and just if there's an honest, emotional, instantaneous reaction to the script, you go with it.
I think it's such a great story of redemption. Like, here's this guy, he has this glamorous life, he's stealing, living life large, and then he falls in love and he's feeling empty.
He ran away because he wanted to have sex. His hormones were raging, as Frank will tell us, and he ran away because he wanted to get it on with girls. And he did.
I got a story about fame and money. It's got more curves than a Playboy bunny. I'm a big obnoxious survivor. I want to tell my story.
So why do you think your story works as a Broadway musical?
I think it does because they've written, first of all, great music that takes you along with the story, music written for the play. And the story is more about the relationship between my father and the FBI agent who was my friend for 30 years till he passed away. I think they're selling that side of the story that the movie really didn't delve into a great deal.
Frank Abagnale Jr. is a kind of urban genius, if you know what I mean. That he figured out how to survive in New York City as a 16-year-old runaway, and in the meantime con a lot of people and pass several $1 million in bad checks.
Basically, it has the ingredients of what used to make for a Broadway hit. It has these gorgeous chorus girls, unbelievably tuneful, wonderful music, and it has this very moving story of a boy's search for family and a father figure in particular.
I mean, it's fabulous. You couldn't come up fictionally with a story more far-fetched than this.
Now, Norbert, we all loved you as a con man in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, but you've gone straight.
I've gone straight, as it were. Yeah, I'm on the other side of the law for this one.
You're still singing and dancing.
They still make me sing and dance.
So how does it feel to have the real guy here today?
That guy, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's such a fascinating story, but you'd think that it was made up. It's real. I mean, that guy did all this when he was 16 years old. And he's so forthcoming and open about what he did and why he did it. So, if I ever have a question, I can say, hey, what were you thinking here? What were you feeling? Or why did you do this? So it's kind of a very unique experience, when you're playing someone who's a real person who's right there. So it's incredible.
It's a real theater score, very accessible, and they're songs, as opposed to, I think I'll go to the grocery store, I need a quart of milk kind of songs.
How do you write such catchy songs? I mean, what is it about you two?
We wouldn't want to put a song out there unless it was felt like something you want to hear and you want to sing, and we kind of become the audience right away as we're writing, and we kind of write the kind of stuff that we would want. I don't know. I mean, thank you for saying that.
Mark and Scott, they write music in this show, and I mean, that it doesn't sound like necessarily theater music. It sounds like Fly Away, Carrier song. I swear it could be on the radio now. It could have been a hit song in the 60s, and that the music has that kind of feel to it.
Ordinary girl. I am not the glamorous legs girl, as you can see.
Are you making Broadway sexy again?
That's our
glamour back. Glamour. Doesn't Broadway need some glamour?
Yeah, that old expression, the tired businessman. I mean, this is a show. I think they should say, Catch Me If You Can, a musical for men. Or for men who hate musicals, come see Catch Me If You Can, because we are really giving what a man wants, what a man needs.
Do you think this show is making Broadway sexy again?
If it doesn't, then Broadway doesn't have a pulse. That's all. Because if this doesn't sex Broadway up, nothing can. It is those girls, unbelievable babes.
So what do you think audiences are going to get when they come to the show?
Oh, they're going to be dazzled by these dancers. I keep telling all of my friends, wait until you see these dancers, these women. There's 10 of them to begin with, and they're all more gorgeous than the next one. And the guys are not too hard to look at either. I think they're going to come away listening to amazing songs, and they're going to be stuck in their heads. I warn you, the songs are going to be stuck in your heads.
Now listen. Those are the 10 most beautiful women in this show in New York right now. I mean, the legs are this long. It's unbelievable. We haven't seen legs like that since Busby Berkeley died, you know?
I don't look at them. I'm a married man now. I don't really check out the showgirls. I'm busy. I'm working.
There are phenomenal legs in the show. It's a Jerry Mitchell show, so I think for a Jerry Mitchell show, I don't think you can walk into the room to audition unless you're like 5'8". And I hate these shows. I'm 5'7". Same thing happened in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I feel like a fire hydrant, and these shows, it's so horrible.
I do think it's bringing sex back to Broadway, if I say so myself. That's a really great way of saying it. Those girls, I mean, they've got more legs, than Legs Diamond. What's that song?
Sexy back.
I'm bringing sexy back. Yes.
Things look better from my soul. Let's love from Timber to Tokyo, from those happy to make up. Yeah, the desert is the only way.
Catch us if you can. Sexy back.
We had a great time, a great audience. Everybody was hyped. This has been a long time in gestation, and I think everybody was really ready for it to open.
It's so much hard work, leading up to this, especially previews. I mean, we're rehearsing every day and changing the show. And so yeah, now we all kind of get to just breathe and relax and just do the show every night. Do this incredible show that we love doing. And, we get to do it every night now.
I kind of look at my life and I'm amazed about what I did, but I'm more amazed at where my life brought me. And now to have a movie about your life and to have a musical made about your life, it's just overwhelming.
You live with these characters for so long, you stop acting so much and you can just kind of be on stage, And when you're able to do that, then you don't need critics or audiences, or you just get to kind of own it, And that's the payoff of working on something for so long.
We got rid of some songs, we replaced some songs. The songs are great, the music is great, and I think it's a much tighter show than it was in Seattle.
The 6 of the leads all were in Seattle together, and we really kind of formed a bond.
All of the principal people have been with us for over 2 years. Not performing, invested in it, loving the show. So there's a condensation of that you just can't get ordinary. You can't get that in a normal rehearsal process.
When you get to go back in and re-rehearse something, you get to find so much more stuff that you didn't find before. But yeah, just time to germinate and ruminate and marinate and kind of sit with it.
As writers, you have to kind of forget that it's a real person's story, because if we have to change something to make something more understandable or to flow and the pace or from scene to scene, you have to make some adjustments to the story.
Right. I mean, I think if the truth be told, the real Brenda actually turned him in. You know, I mean, so it's
You don't want to see that.
But you don't want to see that, right?
It's obviously not a documentary, as did the movie, but I think it's very respectful of his life and what he did. And what he said at the curtain call tonight was very touching about being given a second chance.
If you saw the movie, you know one thing. If you read the book, you know something else. For me, it's about fathers and sons. That's a thing that men feel in an odd way and in a different way from anything else.
You have to get to what's driving these guys emotionally and psychologically, and Jack is brilliant at that. You know, these are two characters in search of love and redemption. And I love stories about redemption.
But in this case, because we all loved each other so much in Hairspray, and we believed in each other, and we have a lot of trust, and we reach out for each other because we know it's good, you know? And so in this case, it's been joyous to come back to, and at the Neil Simon, where we all sort of started out.
It's a dream come true, you know. These guys are the A-team of Broadway, you know, creative teams and musicals, and they're just, what can I say? It's unbelievable to get to do this. I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
The hit movie Catch Me If You Can is now a swinging Broadway musical starring Aaron Tveit and Norbert Leo Butz. We're at the Neil Simon Theater to celebrate a starry opening night.
I'm a mad fan of Jack O'Brien's. Terence McNally, I love Norbert Leo Butz. Anything he does, I'm there turning up. And Aaron Tveit, who I think is a real talent and will be for many, many years. This has that real feel of a big Broadway opening, and I think that's exciting.
Supporter of Mark and Scott and Jack O'Brien and Jerry Mitchell and everybody that's in it, and Norbert is turning in an indelible performance, and if he doesn't win the Tony, there's no justice.
We're officially members of the Mark and Scott fan club, as is James Wilkie. Yeah, no, we're deeply devoted and feel great love and affection for them.
They've worked so hard on this, and they're so brilliant, and they're such great guys. And I've heard only fabulous things, so I'm very excited for them tonight.
You're going to root for the con artist or the FBI?
You have to go with the con artist. It's like, I remember it was Leonardo, so it's like, oh. But the FBI, you know, the Bureau, I don't know, it's hard. It's two interesting animals. You know, they're both kind of the same creature, but different ways.
Con artists always, I actually know a couple of them in real life, actually. I know a girl that used to always steal the stewardess's pocketbook on the airplane. You can do it, it's really easy.
Well, remember, the Deep Throat was in the FBI. So they're good guys in the FBI. So I would root for the FBI.
Well, the con artist, of course. It's always the con artist. You can't BS a BSer, is what they say, so I'm rooting for him. But I love the FBI. I'm not on any list, am I? I'm probably on a list now. I'm on a list.
How are you feeling tonight?
Amazing. Amazing. I can't believe it's actually here. it still hasn't even hit me yet.
I'm feeling relieved. I suppose you're surprised to hear this. You know, for some of us, it's been like over 6 years that we've been working on this and refining it and doing it in Seattle and doing readings and all that sort of stuff. So I'm very proud of him. I really am. I'm very happy.
What do you think of the show?
I thought it was unbelievable. Tonight was the first night I saw it. Up until now, I've only seen some little rehearsal numbers and heard a couple of songs. So tonight was the time I really saw the whole story. It was very surreal. It was very emotional at times when it got into my parents' divorce and things like that.
What is it about this story that speaks to you?
It's exciting. It's unbelievable, but it's true. And it's kind of inspirational, too. You can really make major mistakes and be given a second chance and make something significant of your life.
It just moved me. I started, really weeping when I first read it. And I always try to follow that instinct with a piece. If it has a kind of an instant, gut place that it hits you in.
Even though it might look like a big, quote-unquote, old-fashioned musical with a lot of, glitz and big numbers, that there's an incredible story here about family and the family that you choose in your life. And I mean, there's a huge emotional journey in this show that I think that maybe at the outset people don't realize that they're even going to go on.
It's amazing. And being a kid who grew up in New York and walked past these theaters, never did I dream that someone would make a musical about my life. So it's amazing.
Brag on your cast for me a little bit. Aaron and Norbert.
Watching Aaron, just grow from the first reading we did with him and his understanding that he could be this kind of showman. Watching him blossom in that has been really tremendous. And
of course Norbert. I mean, Norbert's a dream to write for. He's a brilliant actor and a great musician, so he's been a joy.
We shouldn't get to get paid to do what we do because it's so much fun. I mean, don't let the producers hear that, but I could never have asked for anything more in a partner on stage. And not only is he brilliant, but he's been so supportive of me and there every single step of the way. And it's like having your brother with you on stage.
Aaron's a terrific young man and a real talent and a real professional, which I think is the most surprising thing to me. At his age, I was a little more, let's say, undisciplined, but that's kind to myself.
This swinging 60s must be a lot of fun to work in this.
It is, and I also think I went to a Wednesday matinee the other day. I've never seen a happier group of ladies in my life.
Sometimes some of the numbers, like Norbert's number, Don't Break the Rules, like tonight, completely stopped the show. There was nothing he could do to get them to go on with the show. He's like, nah, It's funny.
I heard tonight they would not let it continue after your big number. What was that like for you?
It was a thrill. I had a lot of friends and family out there, so I had an in with the crowd. But it's a great number. It's a great character, and I'm just a lucky guy who gets to do it.
You can't really hold a good man down. I mean, they are really enthusiastic, and it's so much fun to perform for people that are really loving it. And we got lucky there.
Swinging 60s on Broadway. It's great, right?
Baby, it's too much fun. That's what I'm talking about.
He's one of Broadway's fastest rising stars. After starring in big hits like Wicked and Hairspray, he got everyone's attention as the mysterious teenage son in Next to Normal. Now he's playing conman Frank Abagnale Jr. in the sure-to-be hit Catch Me If You Can. Please welcome Aaron Tveit.
Hey guys.
How you doing?
Doing really well, thanks.
Okay, you're 27 years old.
Yep.
You are starring in a big Broadway musical. Is this like a dreams come true moment for you?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, this show, I've been a part of it for a long time, but it's everything I could have ever dreamed of when I first saw a show here in New York on Broadway, and to think, because everything has really happened, it's seemingly really fast. I literally still find myself on stage sometimes, and I look around and I say, oh my God, I'm standing next to Norbert Leo Butz doing this scene, and It's insane. It's really crazy.
Do you feel pressure? I mean, I know the musicals, it's a brand new musical, it's in previews.
You know, I haven't been feeling any pressure, and I mean, but I think it's just because I've been working on this for so long, and specifically this year I've been, you know, we've been in rehearsal since the end of January, but I've kind of been in preparation for this all year. Probably since I left Next to Normal last January, I kind of just started getting everything ready for this.
What does that involve?
It involves, you know, the classes that I was taking all year and keeping myself healthy and getting my voice in shape to be ready for this. And then specifically, you know, the last 3 months before we started, I started working out with a trainer, and that was just to kind of get myself as injury-proof, knock on wood, as possible for this kind of marathon of a show that I have to.
Was that because of your shirtless scenes?
It was not because of my shirtless scenes. It was because of all the dancing and all the running around I do. The last thing I wanted to do was blow out a knee, so I wanted to make sure that I was in the best shape possible for that. But what you asked about the pressure, I haven't been feeling it consciously, but actually I just had a massage yesterday, and my neck has been so tight that I think subconsciously, I think I'm holding out all the pressure right there. But no, I feel good. But I think I've been able.
On opening night, your head will explode.
My head's going to explode on opening night, definitely.
So let's set this up. The way the show opens is that your character is being arrested.
Yeah, being arrested in the Miami, you know, International Airport Terminal, and then kind of because of Frank's brilliant imagination and kind of his ability to create on the fly, and as I'm arrested, Norbert Hanratty said something about, you know, you're not going to do this, you're not going to misdirect us, you're not going to put on a show for these people. And it kind of gives me the idea, wait, could I? Let's try it. You know, we're telling it with this device that Frank sees his life as this early 60s television show.
It's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I saw the show last night, and I absolutely fell in love with it.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to
It's
hear
really
it.
cool, really different, really fresh,
Yeah.
and you're doing amazing work up
Thank
there.
you.
So all the numbers are sort of played like as if they're being done in a TV show in the 60s, basically.
Yeah.
So what does that do? And you also get to interact with the audience because of that, because you sort of introduce things to them.
Yeah.
Is that exciting for you as a performer to have that freedom?
It is. It's a lot of fun. It was hard in the rehearsal studio because I was playing the audience to, you know, our creative team or Curtin or no one, you know, and then when we got to the theater during tech, it was to the black void. So I've actually been so happy to have, when we started previews, because I have faces and I have eyeballs that are looking at me and listening to me, and so, you know, I mean, but I'm a con man. You know, I do bad stuff to people. So it's kind of in a very Shakespearean way, I'm an anti-hero. So I have a big task to try to get the audience on my side. And so it's a very interesting dynamic that I get to have with the audience. It's a whole nother character in the play every night for me.
This kid conned what, like over $5 million out of people?
I mean, it was about $2.5 million, but over the course of the first amount of time. But I think that I read a figure sometime, I mean, with inflation today, it's almost $14 or $15 million of today's money. And I mean, and it was at a time in the 60s where, you know, I think people took things at face value a lot more, and it was still a time where people would believe anything that was told. And so, you know, Frank, he wasn't going out maliciously to try to hurt people, but he would just see an opportunity and tell someone something, and they would believe him, and it would happen. So, but he was kind of a very progressive thinker and thought outside the box of a lot of things. And you know, I mean, one thing he did that's not in our show, but it's, you know, in the book, his book, and he's told me about it. And he just went into a bank, and there's a stack of deposit slips, and he changed, like, where the number where you write your account, he wrote his account number in those boxes. And so when people came in, they didn't know enough to not write their number in, and so when they deposited checks, it went into his bank account. So just stuff like that. I mean, it's ingenious, you know, and you wouldn't think of it, but he just thought of it before anyone else did. Or another great story that I love that he tells is, while he was flying as a Pan Am pilot around the world, he would get to the airport and he would see that there was a drop box for the rental car companies, and people would leave their money and the keys in the rental car box. And so what he did, he went to a costume shop and rented a uniform, like a security guard uniform, and put a sign on the box that said, "Box out of order, leave with security guard." And he just sat there, and people just handed money to them all day for their rental cars. So just things like that he was just, his brilliant imagination. And so this real person had this kind of mind, and so now to put it in a Broadway theater and tell the story of just this person who has an imagination that's boundless and he can jump not from just A to B or C, he can jump from to A to F in a matter of seconds ahead of people. So I think it really lends to a musical, and because musicals it's a fantastical way to tell a story anyway. So I think that's why this story fits so well into musical form. And you know, we're not trying to just put the movie on stage. We're trying to tell this man's incredible story in an incredible way.
It's not at all the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really not. It's the same story, but it's not like a scene for scene adaptation.
Which I think hopefully will be the success in the way that we're telling the story. Because I think sometimes when movies have been adapted to musicals, that the faults that have occurred sometimes is they just try to put the movie on stage. And you know, I mean, theater is a totally different medium than film, you know, and so we have the opportunity to tell it in a way that, you know, film, you know, can't tell.
And you also then have less worries of people comparing you to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes, definitely.
But I'm sure you wouldn't mind having his career.
Absolutely not. I mean, I've been a huge fan of his for a long time, and anytime anybody asks me if I'm worried about comparisons, I say, of course not. If anyone compares me to Leonardo DiCaprio, I think that's such a compliment. But because I get to narrate the story, and I get to bring the audience along, and I get to fill them in on maybe what Frank was thinking or what I'm thinking, what I'm going through. It's not just the linear story that as Leonardo was approaching in the movie. I think I get to have a little more fun than he did, you know, throughout the course of the story. So
you also get to have a lot of fun with these big production numbers.
Yes.
And shaking your ass. There's a lot of dancing.
It's a lot of dancing, yeah. I'm trying to keep up, man. There's some amazing dancers on my show. I'm just trying not to look like a fool next to them.
There's a lot of sort of A-list Broadway chorus people on the show.
Yep.
Did you make a fool of yourself in rehearsals at all?
A couple times, yeah. I tripped a couple of them a couple times and felt like I laid a big egg and felt terrible, and you know, I felt like I was in the way, but it's okay now, knock on wood.
and some great songs from Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman.
Score, yeah.
And you also have that fun number with all the nurses.
Yes.
It's kind of like a Broadway Bears number, a little
Doctor's Order is pretty great. I kind of just get to stare at them. I mean, I get to stare at them all show, but in Jet Set, for instance, when they're stewardesses, it's a little more innocent. I'm a little more, but then, I mean, you know, it's a kid's fantasy of sexy nurses, so.
So how does it feel to have Rochelle rack whipping her hair in your crotch?
Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. I remember the first day we were staging that, Jerry said, yeah, well, just take your hats off and, you know, smack them in the crotch with your hair. And I kind of perked up. I said, it's fine with me. Go ahead, ladies, you know. It's great. It's really, it's a lot of fun.
Is it true that you're a pretty driven guy? I mean, I don't know if I'm just seeing that because I look at your career and you seem very focused on what you're doing.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I think that's a very safe thing to say.
Disciplined. Where does that come from?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it comes from, you know, being in elementary school and bringing home my straight A's to my parents, and then knowing that my friends got $15 for their straight A's, and I said, Mom and Dad, why don't I get money? And they said, no, you get straight A's or you get grounded. You don't get money when you get straight A's.
What do your parents do for a living when you were growing up?
My dad had a construction company with his two brothers, and so really the only job I worked in a securities firm one summer when I was in a business program in high school, but my only other job besides acting was, you know, every summer and every winter break or anything, I just swung the hammer for my dad. So, you know, he's kind of a very blue collar guy, and my mom's a special education teacher. She's a school teacher.
So what do they think of all this?
They love it. They've been such huge supporters of me, and they're incredible. They're so proud, and they're a big reason I think that I'm here today, because I was a president of a business program that I had in high school, and I applied to about 4 schools for business and got a lot of scholarships to go to school for business, and then I also applied to a couple schools to be a voice major, and God bless them, they said, don't worry about the money, you know, we'll make it work, you know, where I think a lot of people would have said, no, you're going to these schools you got a scholarship for, what are you going to go study music for? So, and then even when I wanted to drop out of school to, you know, go do Rent, they said, you know, go for it. You know, you'll figure out the rest when it goes, but you got to try it. So, but yeah, so they're incredibly supportive.
Did you ever like stand in line for American Idol?
I didn't. You know, actually, a friend of mine, Joe Reed, he and I went to college together. He's in Catch Me If You Can with me now. And I remember our sophomore year of college, we were both doing a show, and it was the second season of American Idol. So
Right.
American Idol first season, Kelly Clarkson had just won, and we wanted to go, and I remember our teachers wouldn't let us miss rehearsal to come to New York. So I was going to come that second year to audition for American Idol, and then after that, the next year I remember I was doing a summer stock show, and then after that right after that I was doing Rent, and then I've been working since. So
Who knows what would have happened? You could have beat Clay Aiken.
who knows? Season 2, me, Clay, and Ruben Studdard. You know, if I would have made it that far. But yeah, the second season of American Idol, I almost came to New York to audition for it, but I couldn't miss rehearsal. So.
One of the things I love about Catch Me If You Can is it's so cool to have a Broadway musical about 3 men, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, it's 3 straight men,
Yeah.
and the dynamic and this fatherhood dynamic. It makes it really unique.
It's an interesting. We've talked about it, Norbert, Tom, and I, and you know, not that there's anything against
Norbert. Now let's just clarify. Norbert Leo Butts plays
Carl Hanratty,
right? Who's following you?
Yep.
And
Tom Wopat plays my dad. Yeah, but we've talked about it. Just the energy of, like, you know, the 3 of us loving baseball, talking about that, and I think that there's more. There's just. I don't know, and the 2 of them are such men of the theater, you know. I mean, Tom has this weight to him that is just he's unbelievable presence on stage, and he's such a smart actor, and I mean, he asks such incredible questions in rehearsal, and I mean, I love working with him, and Norbert in the same way is brilliant. I'll never forget when we were rehearsing for the Seattle production, just sitting in a room a tiny room with he and Jack, who already had a shorthand from working together at Dirty Rotten. And they're both classically trained. I just remember sitting in the room after the first day thinking, oh man, I got to catch up here. Because they were just like the things that they were talking about. And so it's been amazing for me to work with these people because they're brilliant.
the musical is really kind of about your character's sort of broken relationship with his father, and then this sort of father figure, unlikely father figure in the FBI agent following
who's
him.
chasing me,
It's really moving at the end.
You know, it's about the families that we choose in our lives, you know, that sometimes aren't the
Right.
families that we're born with. So it's, but I think that it's something that the characters don't know is going to happen until the end. So it's, you know, it's a real journey.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about Next to Normal, because you were terrific in Next to Normal. A lot of people remember you from that show. You actually left Next to Normal to do Catch Me If You Can in Seattle.
I did. I left, it was the day of the Tonys in 2009. We performed in the Tonys, and then I went to the party, and then I went home, got in a car, and got on a flight at 5 o'clock in the morning.
You did
the
that
day
weird.
after.
You did that weird Stockard Channing moment
Yes.
on the Tony.
Yes, I did. It was great.
You were Stockard Channing's
Me
young,
and Stockard,
young boy.
it was wonderful.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I went right to Seattle and then did the out-of-town production, and then I went back to Next to Normal after our Seattle thing.
Right. Now, is it safe to say that you didn't know Next to Normal would be the hit it became? Because I loved the show, but I was surprised.
Well,
that
even back at second stage, even back at the reading before second stage, we all knew something was there. We all knew something was in there. I remember we read through the second act one of our first days before we left to go to DC, and we all just like wept at the end of it, because everything that we thought it could be at second stage, that we'd hoped it to be, all of a sudden it was, you know, and all those things that we had, and we just knew that the show was something really, really special. And then once audiences saw it in DC, we were convinced that it wasn't just us. We weren't crazy, that other people thought it too. So it was a very exciting thing to be a part of, you know.
it was very surprising that year that you didn't get a Tony nomination.
Thank you.
It was very surprising.
Yeah, there was a lot of buzz around that show, and a lot of people said a lot of things to me leading up to nominations, and I mean, it was hard not to get swept up in it, you know, and so the morning that I was devastated, you know, to be completely honest. It was a real punch in the gut, and once I let it go through me, like I just was so excited the fact that that show got all the nominations it did, and there were 6 of us in the show, and the show ultimately won Best Score, and 6 people singing a full-length musical. I felt a huge part of that, and I was so excited for everyone else, you know, and but it was a very hard day.
I also should say that you won a Broadway.com Audience Award, which always numbs the pain of a Tony snub.
Actually, it really did numb the pain. I was so honored to win that Broadway.com Audience Award, especially after, you know, what had happened. And what matters really is that the people that come to the show every night, and the people that like watching you perform on stage, you know. So that really meant a great, great deal to me.
Did you get to keep that big head from the side of the Booth Theater?
No, they
got your head?
offered to give them to us, but then And actually, I got an email from the company management, and they said, "Would you want your head?" And yes, because what I wanted to do was, I wanted to put it in my apartment in Queens, and just put it on the wall, and not say anything to my roommate, and have him walk in and just be sitting there eating, watching, and be like, "What's up, man?" And just have him just see my head. But my dreams were squandered because they said because they were on 2 separate doors that they couldn't get them off without ruining it. So. I don't know what happened.
Lame.
Junk.
They could have bought new doors.
Ended up in a junk pile somewhere. Yeah, they could have given me the doors. But I had high hopes for that picture. But no, I didn't get to keep it.
So are you excited to get to opening night?
Yeah.
With this show, it's been a long journey.
It's been a very long journey. A couple times a night I'm on stage, and I can't believe we're on Broadway doing the show. I really can't believe that we got here and that we're here. But opening's always nice because you don't have rehearsal the next day. So that'll be nice too. Right now, coming off our 10 out of 12s and then into the previews. But this is the best time. It's the most exciting time.
Well, everyone needs to see Catch Me If You Can.
Yes, please come see it. Please come see it.
And Aaron Tveit is doing a great job.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
To Italy, throw out Bella Femmina, jump in a fountain, or a big dose of La Dolce Vita. If your tastes run more risque,
then we know a joint in all the way. So hang on tight, let's move to this time to fly this chicken food. So pack up your suitcase, there no worries, and we'll get
so buckle up. Next stop is love. From Tokyo from Los Angeles to Mexico, and the jet set is on their way to love. Go straight into a movie. Got a red light, sell some pot. It's all the screaming. You're either guilty or you're not. If we had what we wanted, every time we felt the urge, the world would be in total chaos. It's already on the verge. Cause it's laws that keep us human. Cause without them we're just mules. And the game ain't worth the win. I say the game ain't worth the win. Whoa. The game ain't worth the win. If we're breaking all the rules, don't break the rules. What's her name? Just a window dress. Everybody knows that it's the clothes that make the man play the game. Just keep them guessing. Mix and match me, try to catch me if you can. Oh, I got a story that's strange but true.
I got a story that's strange but true.
So comply with me for a bird's eye view.
Comply with me for a bird's eye view.
I got the world in my command.
I got the world at my command.
And I'll be your one-man Disneyland.
And I'll be your one-man Disneyland.
I don't wanna wait for the cops to arrive. I wanna tell my story live and living color.
Live and living color.
Tune me in and turn me on. Yes, I'm
Live and living color.
your eyes and I'll be gone. Yes, I'm live and living color. Tune me in and turn me on.
Live and living color.
Make your eyes and I'll be gone. True story. I got a story I'd like to tell, but I'm gonna need help to tell it well. I got a story about fame and money, and it's got more curves than a Playboy bunny. I wanna live, not just survive. I wanna tell my story live and in living color. Turn me in and turn me on. Yes, I'm live and living color. Look your eyes and I'll be gone. Yes, I'm live and living color. To me in turn beyond. Live and living color. Make your eyes and I'll be gone.
So we got on stew and life's the bits. The ball
And the mouse
at the end of their wits. Pain is the key to life, is that is what you dream. So if living's like you say, don't just stand around and scream. Spike some lemonade and drink up and make butter out of cream. Just make butter out of cream.
Make some butter out of cream.
I hear what you're saying, son. I'll make butter out of cream.
I'm not afraid of stopping. This end could be my start. I wanna live a life and not just play a part. I'll walk into the sunset. I'll sail across the sea. The final word, the last you'll hear of me. Of me. It's goodbye. Goodbye to every night alone. Goodbye. Goodbye to lies that I don't own. I'm tired of living on the stage, a life that's only on the page. The empty lies are in the past. I've tried before, but here's the last. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
They only saw the magic tricks, the smoke and mirrors. Was I the only one to ever see the boy? So now they want to clip his precious wings and bring him down. But in his heart and soul's the kind of good they can't destroy. Yeah, now I wanna see him fly, fly. I'll be your alibi, my baby. Fly, fly, fly away. We didn't get to say goodbye, goodbye. No need to tell me why, my baby. Maybe it's because you fly back home to me one day.
You got any kids, Carl?
I do not.
What the hell do you know about it? I suppose your father was a prince, huh?
Yep, of darkness. Little man, grow some balls.
Oh, he did
I
not.
swear to God, every single morning, that motto rang throughout the halls. True story. On my 10th birthday, he showed me a gun. Then took me to the cornfields and said, okay, run. Sure, his sense of humor was lame.
Like father, like son.
Hey, lucky for me, so was his aim. If he had sewn some needlepoint that hung on the walls, it would have said, little man, grow some balls. Ball games that he missed, nights he came home pissed. Well, I don't think about that any longer.
From New York City, this is Theater Talk. I'm Michael Riedel of the New York Post.
And I'm the show's producer, Susan Haskins.
And we have a real treat for you tonight, Susan, because we have two of our favorite guests of all time on Theater Talk.
Yes, indeed.
They wrote one of my favorite musicals of all time, Hairspray, and I'm very pleased to say that they are back on Broadway this season with a terrific new musical called Catch Me If You Can. And we are delighted it brings them to Theater Talk. Welcome, Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman.
Hello.
Like, guys, I always think of like sort of the Richard Adler and who is the Pajama Game guy?
Jerry Ross.
Jerry Ross, Richard Adler. You guys right in the vein of great old-fashioned musical comedy.
That would be a lovely compliment.
Yes, Sammy Kahn and Virginia.
What have you done with Michael Riedel?
That's right. Well, if you'd written Spider-Man, this interview might take
enough already with
Spider-Man. Welcome back to Theater Talk, guys.
Thank you.
All right, what was it about Catch Me If You Can, a Steven Spielberg movie, that attracted you, that you saw a musical in that movie about a con man in the early 60s?
Well, we had been asked to make a musical out of Stage Door.
Oh.
So we went to the dusty old drama bookshop, and on the way back to the old play section, there was this coffee table book that had just come out about the movie of Catch Me If You Can, and on the cover was Leonardo DiCaprio and a line of airline stewardesses. I said, gee, that looks like a kick line.
Yeah, he said, I'd rather write a musical of that. And I was like, yeah. We just saw the show business kick line of that, and then the father-son relationship seemed so great for the emotional side of it. And
we had written a show about mothers already.
Hairspray.
Hairspray, and so this felt like fathers needed their due.
You'd seen the movie before you ran into this book, right? And when you saw the movie, did you see anything there that you could musicalize, or it just did not occur to you?
It was floating in my head a little bit, because I was very attracted to the father-son situation, and there were so many qualities that the father had that were very similar to my own father. He wasn't quite a flim-flam man. He wasn't a flim-flam man, but he certainly had the bravado and the style of that, the character that Tom Wopat plays.
Right.
So I was very attracted to that. And I was also very attracted to the Frank Abagnale character, because he's such a silver-tongued, in the vein of, Robert Preston kind of. It just felt like that sang.
Right.
And who's Frank Abagnale?
Yeah, for those who have not seen
I'm sorry, Frank Abagnale.
Just set it for us.
By the time he was 20, he had worked in an Atlanta hospital as a doctor. He worked for the district attorney in New Orleans, and
masqueraded as a pilot.
All under assumed names.
Yeah, an airline pilot. And he was a total con man.
Yes,
fraud.
total con man. But he also had a great redemptive quality to him, because in the end, he was saved by this FBI man who gave him another life.
And your telling of the story, he has, Frank Abagnale has this intimate and intense but troubled relationship with his con man father. And the FBI, though, becomes sort of the proper father who can set him on the right path.
Right.
Was that something that's sort of in the movie, or something that you've
It's in the movie, but I think the musical, by the nature of a musical and how music brings out a more emotional quality, we ended up raising that a bit more, because the chase element that's throughout the movie is a little harder to do on stage.
Yeah.
And so it's just the musical naturally went that way.
And you're dealing a lot with the actual Frank
Abagnale.
Yeah.
At least we think that's him.
So, so what does he say?
He's around the show, right? He's been part of the
Yes, he has been part of the process. He's a totally beguiling and charming older man now, obviously, and he's just been like a little godfather around the production.
And does he concur with this, that the FBI had a...
Yes,
very much of the actual FBI man that Norbert plays, Carl Hanratty, was the godfather of Frank's children.
Showbiz is a perfect place for somebody like him, though. I mean, it's full of flim-flam artists.
Yeah.
He could be one of your 8,000 producers or something like that. You wouldn't know.
It takes a village, darling.
To put on your show. He's speechless.
More Jews than built the pyramids.
Now, I love the setting of the show is the early 60s. Pan Am, TWA sort of terminal feel, the jet set. And I know that for you, Mark, this is musically a time that you love, the Sammy Davis Jr. world, of variety shows. Was that influential in the idiom of the music that you're working in?
Completely. I mean, for both of us. I usually say the Ed Sullivan Show was the perfect template for the music in Catch Me If You Can. Music, when I say music, I mean music and lyrics. Because on a Sunday night, when we were kids, you'd watch the Ed Sullivan Show, and there was an hour of entertainment, and it might be the Beatles, and then Peggy Lee.
And then Topo Gigio.
Right, of course. You know, or you know, Frank Sinatra and the Rolling Stones, or Herman Hermits. You know, you got everything, and that's one thing I feel bad about modern generations, that they, and I'm guilty of it too. When I'm in the car, I only put on the satellite stations that are the things I know I like, which I'm a hypocrite, because I'm talking about how back then you just watched everything and you heard everything, because you had to get up off your fat to change the channel. No one's going to do that. And there are only 3 channels.
That's right.
And so you just got everything. And so that's what our show is like. Although Frank Jr. is 16, 18 years old in the show, he also loves what his dad loved, Bobby Darin, Frank Sinatra. But the show itself is a little bit more like Hullabaloo, which was another show back then.
And Hollywood Palace was another one of them.
What was
Hollywood Palace was a weekly show on Saturday night, and it would, a big movie star, say Joan Crawford, would say, "Welcome to Hollywood Palace," and they would have, you know, a circus act, and then, you know, Sergio Franchi.
It was like the LA version of the Ed Sullivan Show.
But they had an ensemble of dancers who would do production.
Exactly, exactly.
Like you've got.
Right.
Fabulous.
Yeah, we had the 10 hottest girls on Broadway. But I think that the idea of Frank telling his story, this is the way I thought, we both thought that Frank would use this idiom, because he wants to glorify his life. And so it's a big statement.
But it happened organically. I believe in your vaults, you have a film of me singing 50 checks. 50 checks don't feel like much when you first hold them. Nothing special to the touch of, but look inside. Every digit points the way. Every date's your lucky day. Every check's a mini magic carpet ride. It's like Playboy After Dark here. Can you think of 50 dreams? Well, they're in your hand now. And with your heart and mind, there ain't nothing you can't do. 'Cause you have 50 choices, 50 chances, cold hard cash or hot romances. 50 checks can make those dreams come true. The first song that we wrote was 50 Checks, and then we wrote another song for the mom. And after writing those songs, we realized we had written a song that Frank Sinatra could have sung, and that Judy Garland or Edith Piaf might have sung, and we realized, okay, the kid is seeing his parents in this idolized, glorified way, and it's almost as if he's presenting, like, my dad's like Frank Sinatra, and my mom's like Edith Piaf, and that's what led to the concept. So it happened very organically.
Both of those songs are not in the show now.
Well,
I tell the cast, they look at me and I go, I literally like drowning babies.
How did you guys meet? Because you have been together as professional and romantic partners for a number of years now.
A few years.
Decades, many. We met one day. I was still living in New Jersey, and I went to see a musical off Broadway with a friend of mine from New Jersey that was ironically entitled Boy Meets Boy at the Actors Playhouse. And we ran into some other friends from New Jersey on the street after the matinee, and we said, oh, let's catch up. And there was a piano bar right there called Marie's Crisis. It's still there.
Still there, yeah.
I went in there with my friends. I started playing the piano. It was empty. It was like 4:30 in the afternoon. I was only 16. I shouldn't have been in there. And the bartender was sweeping up, and he went,
very MGM.
Wait right here. Hey, kid, you're good. So wait here. And he ran over.
And I was directing a show at the Duplex, which is next door.
Of course.
He said,
It's still there, too.
Yes. Hey, there's a kid down there. Because I had a piano player who used to call Mittens because he was so terrible. And so they ran down, and we ran in and saw him, and we said, that's our Hitler.
They said, can you play together wherever we go cheesy? And I went, you mean like the way they play it at a bar mitzvah? I'd never known other people who got that strange way, that show busy other style of music. And so I played, and I came in and started playing for the comedy act on the weekends. And
what was the first song you guys wrote together?
We wrote a musical based on about the life of Barbie and Ken, how Barbie and Ken met. We did it in a basement of a Polish church on St. Mark's Place.
What was it called?
Living Dolls. We did it for a while until Mattel said
cease and desist.
Of course, as fate would have it, almost 30 years later, Mattel called and said, "We'd like to do the Living Doll."
No, you got that Living Dolls. We couldn't believe. Oh my God!
After the success of Hairspray, when you guys were at the top of Broadway,
it broke our heart because that was almost our big break. It got moved to the Manhattan Theater Club, but when Mattel made us take Barbie and Ken away, it lost what it was.
Well, since Mattel has asked you, have you revisited the?
Now, believe it, we've been too busy to act on their offer. Oh my God.
I was like, you know, when Gloria Swanson says, "And so I've been waiting 30 years for this call."
But I love the sensibility that you have, which comes through in Catch Me. Although I must say, Catch Me is kind of a musical drama because it seems to me to be, as much as I loved Hairspray, this is much more moving. And, you know, you guys do the wonderful light pastiche fluff very well, but it seems that in here you've gotten a little more, I don't know, heart or drama.
What's the nature of the story?
The nature of the story, and it's a little grittier at the end.
You have a beautiful big song for Aaron Tveit at the end.
Yes.
A very powerful, dramatic song. And that's not a vein that you seem to write in a lot.
Yes, it is. It's just Hairspray came along and presented us in a certain way, but, you know, we can try to do anything people will let us. I don't know. Hopefully this will lead to more. But I mean, it was the same thing for me in movie scores. When I was scoring so many romantic comedies, and after a while I was only getting offered that. And yet, even though it was a romantic comedy in a way, I scored a movie, The American President, that had a much more rich feeling, and yet I kept getting pigeonholed into more like the kind of stuff. And then Hairspray came along and saved my life and changed our lives.
Both our high schools did Hairspray 2 weeks ago.
This was brilliant.
Separate, I mean, independent, you know.
I'm a movie star.
Did you go to see it?
I would have.
His did it the weekend where we couldn't leave.
It was the first week.
It was our first. But mine did it, well, mine did it for 2 weekends, and it was our second Saturday, and we couldn't make any changes to the show that day. And I was like, you know what? I could miss the show tonight. It might be good to miss a show. And I went to New Jersey, and I saw them do a musical I wrote in the auditorium that I first auditioned to play piano for a musical. I mean, they brought me up and made me make a little speech, and I was literally standing right above where the piano that I went and said, "Can I audition to play for The Sound of Music?" I said, when I was in high school, I used to I played hooky from high school to go to New York to see musicals, and tonight I played hooky from my musical on Broadway to come back to high school. It was the strangest thing.
I hear that you have written a TV pilot that involves a horrendous gossip columnist.
Ah. Yes, we've been doing a TV show a pilot called Smash, and Michael Riedel is actually
referred to.
He's like Waldo Lydecker and Laura.
Oh, I love
that. I think he's actually a plot point.
Well, Teresa Rebeck has written the script with you guys, and she told me I'm going to use your name, you know, because we should say to people, it's about the out-of-town tryout of a big Broadway musical.
Right.
And Michael Riedel, the feared gossip columnist of the New York Post, is going to go see the musical, as I often do out of town. And Teresa wrote a line in there calling me a little Nazi.
Yeah.
And I did this for you. I had to sign a release for NBC and it says, you will be referred to as a, quote, little Nazi in this pilot, and you will not sue.
You will like it.
That's what we call fact-checking.
And I sign it, but are you, who's going to play me?
Well, later on you say something nice about the musical, and so she changed her tune, and she goes, actually, he doesn't get enough credit he's a really very smart guy.
The character.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
We write the musical that they're writing. So the other day we literally went from doing the Broadway musical, then we went to the rehearsal for the show about the Broadway musical. I felt like I was in a gay Inception.
Larry Gelbart famously said that if Adolf Hitler was alive, he hopes he's doing a musical
Out of town.
Can it be that difficult sometimes?
Yes, I texted somebody last night, and I actually asked, if you write my obituary, please write cause of death, show business.
Yeah, I can relate to that, yeah.
Except you guys love it. I mean, the struggles, the...
Yeah, but, you know, we have definitely on this one had every possible thing
Anything you wish to share?
No.
Yeah,
Not at all.
You can't just leave it out there like that. What's been the hardest, what's been the struggle on this show?
It's just the normal
It's a complicated story to tell on stage. It really is. It really is. And trying to find
It is
the
a
right
plot-heavy
tone
show.
I mean, it's as simple as this. Comparing Hairspray and Catch Me, which are apples and oranges, but Hairspray basically was a musical in its original form. It had old songs, but it had songs and it had people who should sing and dance, so it was such a natural thing. And this just needed more work, and so with that work came a lot of different opinions, and just trying to all get on the same page is sometimes not as easy as it was on Hairspray, where the template was so already laid out.
So even from the beginning of Hairspray, you guys were all on the, as Peter Stone, the old wonderful
yes,
Broadway
of course,
writer,
yeah.
said, everyone has to be on the same level.
Yes.
Yes,
And
yeah.
if you're not on the same level, you're going to have a show that competes against it.
Yes, yes. But we're very lucky because we had Jack O'Brien, Jerry Mitchell, Kenny Posner, David Rockwell, William Ivey, Paul Huntley, it's Steve Kennedy. It's all that troupe. So we have such a shorthand together after they're all working on Hairspray together that it's just, you know, it's a wonderful way to go through the tech process and the directing process with them.
William Goldman said in that great book, The Season, that I know you guys have read, that every show has to have the muscle, that ultimately somebody has to be calling the shots. Are you Shaman and Whitman? Are you guys the muscle on the Shaman and Whitman show?
We're opinionated, but you know what, we respect. It's such a collaboration.
Jack's a director, you know.
Jack is a director. Jerry is the stage. It's such a collaboration, and unless you respect all those people,
Who wins if there's a battle? I mean, who ultimately?
I'd say we have tried everything. Everyone has gotten a chance to see what they thought, and there have been 1 or 2 previews that I would like to now get the numbers from Telecharge of everyone who was there and say, as my guest, I'm going to sneak you into the last 10 minutes of the show, because what you saw that night, I'd rather you saw what it now has become. But we tried everything, and we have really worked hard. Everyone on the team has really, really worked hard. There hasn't been a day or an hour we haven't been thinking, what else can we do?
I mean, even when we leave you today,
You're going back to...
We're making a cut.
1 week before the show opens.
Yeah. We have a big cut going in today. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, you just learn... The audience tells you that they're actually the muscle.
Yeah, that's
in the end, they tell you everything.
Good. That's right. Yeah. And Peter, again, Peter Stone always said that you have to be able to listen to that audience and not resist them.
Never.
If they're resisting your show, because then you're sunk. You have to move with them as they moved with the show.
I can feel it when I'm sitting there. You all feel it, and you just you know, hey, let's do this, and usually you end up hopefully it's the right decision.
And now they have like focus groups for Broadway, which movies have had for a long
terrifies
time.
me.
Yeah. Whether it's your chat boards or focus groups, once the audience is telling you everything you need to know during the show.
You don't,
And that's the way it's been for hundreds of years. You don't need...
We don't go on.
You go to those focus?
Once you start thinking about it, to write it down, and you're asked leading questions about, you know...
I find chat rooms for me, when people can't sign their name to a criticism, I don't respect it. It's like scrawling dirty words under a viaduct. I mean, if you can't say that you stink, sign so
Michael Riedel, little Nazi.
I mean, you do. I'll give you that.
You put your name to it. Come on, people.
But you go on those chat rooms because
not as much, because finally I realized there was no winning this. I would go on it just to correct things that were not facts.
Right.
I figured I can go on. I could be like when Woody Allen pulls, what's his name? I can't.
Marshall
McLuhan out. I can at least say that's not true.
Yeah.
And I'm there. I can tell you that that's not true. But then it starts the fighting about what I have said, and people saying, "Oh, you're a brown nose," and they start fighting them. And it's just not working.
I have a policy like you. I don't respond. People can say whatever they want about me, and Lord knows they do on the thing. I never respond to it.
No.
Feeling, listen, you know, I dish it out, so I got to be able to. Be able to take it.
But don't you want to know who's dishing it out?
I know.
Yeah, I mean that's the part. Yeah.
I know
you know.
I do know because I know the name. I have the press agent I know has all the list of all the people.
Wow.
You'd be surprised.
That's like
Margot Lyon, Jack O'Brien. They're unbelievable.
That's what we can't believe about nowadays. That everyone feels. On the Facebook pages, they just go into these long things. Someone's sister, someone's brother, someone's mother is reading that. I don't want to be a hypocrite. We're queens that dish about stuff, but you know, we know who we're talking with, and you watch what you say.
That when we both were this, when I saw things at that age, we either loved them or liked them. I never went out of, I've never come out of a theater going, oh, I mean, yes, you find things that are not right, but there's always some glorious moment in every show that you just, that you say that was worth whatever I went through.
So you weren't running to see the, you know, the great flops of the 60s and 70s. You were, but
yeah, you know I was. We've talked about it.
Of course. Well, before we wrap it up then, and I know you love them all, but can you tell me your favorite all-time classic Broadway fiasco?
Golden Rainbow.
Golden Rainbow, and that was, who was in that?
Steve and Edie.
Oh, of course.
Because by the second act, they stopped calling each other by the character names, and they would just say, Steve, what do you think, Edie?
And they would just do
But they were glorious, whatever it was.
And yours?
I don't think I have one. Because I am truly Pollyannish. Once I'm in a theater, I am happy.
And we have a little treat now because I believe you guys are going to do a little sort of Ed Sullivan type variety hour number.
Well, Fingers is over here.
Fingers.
As opposed to Mittens.
You're going to dance this time?
No, I'm chained to the piano.
Okay. And I want to say this, I'm Michael Riedel, and welcome to the Hollywood Palace.
With David Susskind. It has a little David Susskind
David
feeling.
Susskind, exactly right. This is our Theater Talk's little version of our early 60s variety show with Shaman and Whitman.
We have to write a Theater Talk theme, I think. So
There you go, there you go.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, tick, 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 talk a little, pick a little more.
Fabulous. All right, we have a treat now because we're going to hear a song from Catch Me If You Can, and you want to set it up for us, Mark?
Well, this is one of those moments like in Hairspray when there was the line, Mama, welcome to the 60s. That just, we were like, that's a song. So in Catch Me If You Can, there's this great fable that Jeff Nathanson, the screenwriter, created that Chris Walken, as the father, tells. It kind of sums up his way of looking at life, which is two little mice fell in a bucket of cream. The first mouse quickly gave up and drowned, but the second mouse, he struggled so hard, he churned that cream into butter and he walked out. I thought, that could be a song. I mean, that could be a song not unlike High Hopes, great Sammy Cahn, Jimmy Van Heusen song. They used to, you know, or a fish is an animal, all those kind of songs.
I like this swing on a star,
you know, using animals. So anyway, so we wrote this song. Two little mice of great renown fell in some milk and one proceeded to drown. The other one still the toast of the town, 'cause he made butter out of cream. He looked around, deduced his plight, said this is no way to spend a Saturday night. But he had the style to make things right, so he made butter out of cream. He kicked his legs up, he tossed and turned, so not to end up a ghost. He did the hokey pokey till the cream was churned, and baby, he walked right out and buttered his toast. Now he's on top, for goodness sakes. Yeah, he's the big cheese up at Land O'Lakes. He's living proof that pop, all it takes is a scheme. So if you land in the gutter, just make butter out of cream. So if lemons clog your sink up, don't just stand around and scream. Spike some lemonade and drink up, and make butter out of cream. I like that tempo. We should try that tempo tonight.
Yes. Where's my martini, my cigarette here on the Lux?
Right under here.
Lux Variety Hour. All right, the show is Catch Me If You Can at the Neil Simon Theater, written by our good friends Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman. Good luck, and here's to another big hit, boys.
Thank you, Waldo Lydecker.
Thank you, and good night from Theater.
Thank you, guys.
So we got us two and life's the bits. The bug and mouse at the end of their wits. They knew the key to life was that it's what you dream. So if lemons clog your sink up, don't just stand around and scream. Spike some lemonade and drink up, and make butter out of cream. Just make butter out of cream.
Make some butter out of cream.
I hear what you're saying, son. I'll make butter out of cream.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, I may need a cocktail. Our next guest star in a dynamic new Broadway musical currently playing at the Neil Simon Theater. Please welcome Tony Award winner Norbert Leo Butz and the cast of Catch Me If You Can.
It starts very early, once the baby toys are gone. A kid on the playground has to choose what side he's on. It's the bullies or the good guys, boy, there ain't no middle ground. Though hoodlums try to blur the line and to twist the truth around, then they call themselves a winner, but they're self-deceiving fools. 'Cause the game ain't worth winning if you're breaking all the rules. Don't break the rules, or else we're living in the wild, wild west. Don't break the rules, God's keeping score. You don't want to fail that test. Don't break the rules, or you thumb your nose at the life for which I strive. But those rules, those laws keep us alive. Well, it started back with Moses when he led around the Jews. And climbed way up that mountain to pick up God's daily news. Well, he slept up on Mount Sinai, cried, and begged on their behalf. He almost dropped those tablets when he saw that golden calf. Now we teach the 10 Commandments every Sunday in our schools. 'Cause the game ain't worth winning if you're breaking all the rules. I guess the Constitution, boys, to some is too complex. They think our founding fathers fought so they could afford some checks. They see themselves as Robin Hood, stealing from the rich. Not paying back the things they take will pay back is a bitch. 'Cause the world ain't Sherwood Forest. You can't give away those jewels. And the game ain't worth winning if you're breaking all the rules. Come on. Don't break the rules, or else we're living in a wild, wild west. Don't break the rules, and God's keeping scout. You don't want to fail that test. Don't break the rules, you thumb your nose at the life for which I strive. But those rules, those laws keep us alive. Us alive. When you steal somebody's money, screw his daughter or his wife, you don't think of repercussions as you tap dance through your life. Though you smile like you're a hero, you're an outlaw through and through. But the odds are in my favor, man. One day I'll catch you. You'll sneak into a movie when a red light sells some pot. It's all the same to me. You're either guilty or you're not. And we all did what we wanted every time we felt the urge. Be it's already on the verge. 'Cause it's laws that keep us human. 'Cause without them we're just mules. And the game ain't worth the win. I say the game ain't worth the win. No, the game ain't worth the win. If we're breaking all the rules. Don't break the rules, or else we're living in a wild, wild west. Don't break the rules, God's keeping scout. You don't want to fail that test. Don't break the rules, you thumb your nose at the life for which I strive. But those rules, those laws, those rules, those laws, baby, keep us alive.
Oh my goodness. Huh? What? Hello. Oh, how about that? Oh my. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Hello, Norbert Leo. Nice to see you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you.